chew the fat, and give our gut reactions on all things pop culture, film, TV, and theatre. We talk to legends in the creative industry and those on the rise. We game old school. We support independent creatives. Got a project? Tell us about it. Get in touch. We do all of this, and a whole lot more. Like, subscribe, get involved. Join Steen Anthony Nielsen and the Outcasts Creative.
Hello, welcome to an unscheduled stream for the Outcast channel. I will be back on at 8 o'clock tonight with the Track to Ibiza podcast. Do come and join us for that. It's a lot of fun, even if you're not someone who's got any interest in Ibiza. The stream is very fun, purely by the presence of my fellow co-hosts. Now, man, I mean, this is a sad day for a couple of reasons. So before we talk about Sam Neill, and just to say, anyone, literally anyone, is welcome who's a fan of Sam Neill's, you liked one of his movies, you liked one of his performances, anyone is welcome to come on this stream. I'll probably go for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I'm going to put the link for the stream in the chat now, and it will stay in there. So if you do want to come on, just click on the link and we'll get you on. So before I get into all that, though, there's another important thing that I want to do. So on a completely unrelated topic, and I'm sure Mr. Neill would approve of the slight divergence. A friend of mine, good friend of mine, from the rave scene, she's just done a post today about her son, who has been missing for 8 days. And her son, who goes by the name of Andrew Corrigan, he's got some mental health issues, so he's classed as a vulnerable adult. And he is, it was his 35th birthday the other day, and he's never been out of contact for this long. The longest his mother's never heard from him, it was a couple of days. So he's been missing for 8 days. He's missed his 35th birthday, and he was last seen at Fareham train station in the UK. Now, I'm just trying to do a good thing for a good person here. So if you've seen Andrew, please get in touch with the police at Fareham. I've done a post about this on Twitter. I've done a post about it on my Facebook. It doesn't matter whether you're in America or wherever you might be, if you could share that post for my friend whose son is missing. She's beside herself with worry. She's a good friend of mine. She's a good egg. Please do that. I'm going to be putting this at the beginning of every live stream I do until Andrew Corrigan is found. So, yeah. Okay. Let's get on with our Sam Neill dedication. Now, I invited anybody. I literally invited anybody. And one friend of mine who's been on the channel before said, hey, I've just been woken up by my neighbor, so I can come on. So, Proctifile, welcome back.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, good to have you here. So yeah, I've got a friend who's got a son. Her son's gone missing, so I just needed to do a post about that. I literally found that out about 10 minutes before I came on. So
I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible.
Yeah, man, what a Monday this is turning out to be.
No,
yeah, but
yeah, it's a hell of a day. Like, that's again a hell of a way to start off your day. Like, as I told you, my neighbors woke me up. They're still They still have a massive fireworks that they're blowing up at fucking 4 a.m. So yeah, here I am.
Why are they doing fireworks at 4 a.m? And wasn't the 4th of July last week?
Because they have absolutely no consideration for others.
Oh, I see. Oh, well, that's very kind of them. Indeed, yes. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Sam to get us going.
Yeah.
The late great Mr. Neill. And then what I'd like to do is hear from you about your thoughts on the actor, and also when he first kind of came on your radar. You know, when you first saw a performance of his, you went, yeah, and he kind of landed with you. Yeah. But so I'll come to you in just a second. Good to see a few regulars in the chat popping in. Like I said, anyone is welcome to come on this stream. The link is in the chat if you want to come on. Just come on. You don't have to be a YouTuber. This is just one of those special times where it would be good to hear from people. So Sam Neill is an actor that I grew up with. One of my, I don't know if it was the first thing I saw him in, but one of my favorite films of his was a movie he did with Nicole Kidman called Dead Calm. Co-stars Billy Zane. Actually, I've met Billy Zane, so I got to talk to Billy Zane about Dead Calm. And I remember my opening line with Billy Zane was, I hope you don't mind, it's so British. I hope you don't mind me saying your performance in Dead Calm was excellent, and what a fantastic film that was. And he did a British accent back to me, and he went, I don't at all, sir. Like that he was really funny. So yeah, I saw that at the cinema, the Warner Brothers, Leicester Square, I believe that's where I saw it. I think I can't remember if I went on my own and I think that came out probably around 88, I want to say. But let's get the link to the IMDb profile up, and I'll check the dates. I don't want to be guessing these things. And that's an amazing film. I mean, one of the things about Sam Neill as an actor is I think he was successful enough, certainly later in life as well, that he could pick and choose his projects. He didn't need to do things for the paycheck. I mean, I'm sure he did. We've all done those jobs, but I think fairly early on in his career, he probably reached a level of comfortableness where he could, decide what stuff he wanted to do. So yeah, let me have a look at Dead Calm. I think just looking. Where is it? It's not. No, hang on. I'm in the 70s now. Let's have a look. Let me put this up on the screen so you can see it.
It was in 89.
Was it 89? Okay. So, I mean, looking at his resume, there are several things on here. We'll start at the beginning. There were several things on here. I mean, not only have I probably seen about 50% of his work, but until I looked at his IMDb page, I didn't realize the length and the breadth and the diverse stuff that he's done.
Same.
Yeah.
Dude's everywhere.
I mean, what an incredible legacy. Can't say the man didn't live. I think the first thing I probably saw him in was The Final Conflict, which was Omen 3, and Attack Force Z. Now, I think Final Conflict might have been directed by Graham Baker. Yes, it was. Graham Baker is the father of Rachel Raymond. Rachel Raymond was in my first feature film. And we talked about The Final Conflict, which her father directed. So I think that was probably the first thing I saw Mr. Neill in would have been The Final Conflict. Not a particularly great addition to the Omen sort of. The first two films were really good. I think the third one, they probably didn't need a third one. I guess it's sort of dollars, Hollywood. But it certainly wasn't the fault of Sam Neill. The other things of his that I would have seen around the same time, I saw the TV Ivanhoe movie. I saw Attack Force Z. Riley Ace of Spies, my parents were mad for. But I was still pretty young when that came out, and I don't think it had enough guns and explosions in it for me. So I don't think I watched it. He was very good in America. I've had one of the cast from America on this channel who did a number of scenes with him. Cynthia, surname. Oh God, what's her surname? I'm terrible with names. Where is she? She should be Cindy Pickett. It's not Cynthia. Cindy Pickett. Cindy Pickett played Amanda Bradford. Sam Neill played like a Russian colonel. And I don't know if you've ever seen this show, Proctor File, but it was like a mini series that came out in the 80s. And was about
that's a negative.
a Russian invasion of America.
No, not yet.
And America's name was changed to America with a K in it. You see, so it's become like this kind of Russian state. It's a good miniseries. It starts with like the Russians are already in control, so there isn't a big sort of thing about what happened before. You pick up bits of conversations. I thought that was quite clever. But so you know that somehow corruption and stuff in the country imploded and Russia swept in and took it over. And when it came out in the 80s, it was a national news story over here because it had such a big, devastating emotional impact on the American TV audiences that everybody was talking about it for a few weeks. So it even made the national news in the UK. I always remember that. So as soon as the 3 VHSs turned up at my video store, I rented it out. That was 87. And he was great in that. He kind of did a fairly convincing Russian accent, which was a good preparation for the Hunt for Red October, which he would do not long after that. I can't believe you've not seen this. You are an American, aren't you? Or are you Canadian? I forget.
Say I am an American.
You are.
But I was born in the late 80s. So
I know you're younger than me. I mean, not as good looking, obviously, but you're younger than me. So
no, there's a reason I'm off camera.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I mean, I don't want the world to miss out on these amazing glasses. So yeah, I've got to wear these for reading the computer now. It's just like they're just like the biggest geeky glasses known to man. Yeah, so America was really good. I saw that. Now, Cry in the Dark. There you go. Cry in the Dark and Dead Calm. That's right. They came out around the same time, about a year apart. I was working at the cinema when Cry in the Dark came out with Meryl Streep. True story of the woman, Lindsay Chamberlain, of the famous Dingo baby case. So it's a true story drama. And I think they're Mormons or something like that in it. Anyway, they went to like a sort of a summer picnic out in the outback, and the baby was in a tent, and the mother returned to the tent having been away just briefly, and she just caught sight of the dingo coming out of the tent with the carrying her baby by the scruff of the neck.
Damn, that's wild.
Well, what was more wild was that it was really the real drama of this story is how then it got into the minds of the public that this woman had murdered the baby in some weird religious sacrifice in the wilderness, and it just got completely out of control, and it was one of those things that snowballed. And she was completely innocent, but there was a trial. That first trial got thrown out by the judge. He said the whole thing was ridiculous. There was a second trial, and she got convicted and went to prison for murdering her child. And then finally, the baby's jacket was recovered from the desert, the clothing item it had been wearing at the time of its death, and that was recovered like years later. Somebody walking in the outback found it, and that cleared her because it had the bite marks from the dog and all of that kind of stuff. And so she was finally vindicated. But so Sam Neill plays her husband. And he's really fucking good in this. There's a scene where he collapses. I think the press are hounding them. There's like helicopters above the house and all this. And I always remember this scene where he collapses. And it's so convincing. And it's such a good role because he doesn't agree with... His wife is a big character and she's quite offhanded with the press. And they kind of turn against her. And he's a much more calm and collected character, but he kind of has a mental breakdown. Their marriage didn't survive the whole thing. And I always remember thinking, man, this guy's a fucking good actor when I watch this. Yeah. So if you haven't seen Cry in the Dark and you like your true story dramas, you know what? I'm going to recommend 5 films that you people should watch of Sam Neill's. So let's just do that in the chat. I'm going to type that in. Lance's top 5 Sam Neill films. I always spell his surname wrong. It's 2 L's. Thank God I spotted that earlier. Top 5 Sam Neill films you must watch. Okay. At number 5, Cry in the Dark, I think it is.
It's A Cry.
Yeah. There's a really good scene in that movie that always stayed with me. And it's a montage of people we've never seen in the movie up to that point, talking about the case. At one point, it's in one newsroom, and it's a whole load of journalists, and they're arguing over whether she killed the baby or not. And this is when in the lead up to the trial. Then it cuts to a woman's dinner party, and all the guests are arguing about the case. And the host of the dinner party stands up and says, "For God's sake, I won't have another dinner party of mine ruined by that woman." And and then they do like 3 other scenes like that. And it's to show the public how the whole case was in the. I thought that was really clever. I loved that. Always remembered that. So there we go. So I'm going to put these in as we go. Top 5 Sam Neill films you must watch. Number 5, A Cry in the Dark. Outstanding performance, outstanding haircut, as you can see. Worth seeing for that haircut alone. So, yeah, all right.
It's got me jealous.
Yeah, indeed. You haven't seen it. I don't think you've seen this, have you?
I have not, no.
Are you a bit of a true crime buff? Do you like your true crime dramas?
I definitely was back in my mid-20s, but not as much nowadays.
Then you realise they just made you feel depressed and you wanted to see something more cheerful.
Yeah.
Well, look, this one's a good one and it does have a happy ending ultimately. So
Nice.
I would recommend it. I mean, it's a great performance from Meryl Streep. I think she was nominated for an Oscar for this.
So you just spoiled it a little bit. 5 years later, after all these trials, they find the baby. He's still alive. The baby, the dingoes have raised him big and strong.
That's right. And he's now like sort of Tarzan of the dingoes kind of thing.
Coincidentally, Sam Neill was in a Tarzan adjacent movie.
Was he?
He was in the Jungle Book.
The animation, not the original Disney.
No, he was in the live action version.
Oh, the live action one that they did, was that early 2000s or something around there?
I think it was like 94.
Right. I don't think I watched that all the way through. I had it on at one point, but I just thought the Disney one is so ingrained in our psychology. I didn't watch it.
Which is why I watched the other one.
Hello to the 10 people watching. If you do want to come on the screen and just talk about your favorite Sam Neill moments, there is the link. It's in the chat. Scroll to the beginning of the chat. I'll pop it in every so often. Proctor, are you a mod?
I am.
Yeah. So could you repost that link every so often?
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I thought you were. Yeah, if you don't have to be a YouTuber, if you're just a movie fan of movies, you're a fan of Sam Neill, you want to come on for 5 minutes, you don't have to come on for very long. Just maybe some of your favorite memories of his performances, or maybe a film of his that moved you that you'd like to come on and give him a mention. And we've had quite a few messages here. Let me read out some of these before I continue. This is genuinely devastating news to wake up to. Yeah. I mean, I went to a rave. I went to a rave this weekend and I was out until like the early hours and then had loads of trouble getting home. So today is like sort of rave recovery day, and you're sort of getting up and you're determined to, get some energy going, and you turn on your computer. The first thing you see is one of your favorite actors has died. I know he was battling cancer, but I thought he cured. I thought his treatments went well and he was all right. But
from what I've heard, he did successfully beat cancer, but there are other causes of death that can creep up on you at that age. Yeah,
he was 78. He was not a young man. Electric Aldred, good to see you here, mate. Yeah, it does suck. Paul Smith, another regular. Yeah. Life just isn't fair. Tell me about it.
You gotta tell me, brother.
8x388. Jurassic Park was my first thing from Sam Neill. Grew up with that movie. I think for a lot of kids, that would be the first. The kids that went to see Jurassic Park. I was a bit older. I was a teenager, but the kids that went to see Jurassic Park that would probably be their introduction to Sam Neill. And of course, he did a ton of television as well as South London. Cellar reminds us he did Peaky Blinders. There's lots of little guest roles with him, and one of the last things he did was The 12, which is a show about a jury. He did 2 seasons of that. Very sad news, says Abe. He was a very reliable actor. Yeah, I mentioned that near the beginning. You don't see him in a lot of shit films. There's not a lot of films that he did just to get the jacuzzi. Oh, Sandy, I'm crying. My favorite actor, truly. Sandy, come on the stream. Come and talk about him. Anyone's welcome. Be great to have you back on. Dead Calm, I'm going to talk about in a minute. That film is so good and it's aged so well. It could be set yesterday, so it's really aged well. So Cry in the Dark. And funnily enough, Dead calm is the next thing I want to talk about. So not long after he did A Cry in the Dark, he was on Dead Calm. So Dead Calm, if you haven't seen it, it's a very simple premise. A husband and wife. The husband is a ex-sailor of the Merchant Navy, I think, or he might have been in the military Navy. I'm not sure. They're Australians. They have recently suffered a bereavement of their child, and in order to begin the healing process, they decide to get on the husband's yacht and do a kind of a trip away from everything. And you can tell he's a very competent sailor. He's got the latest kind of navigational equipment and stuff. He's got fridges packed full of food, and and they're a few days out into their trip, and they sight a schooner that looks damaged from a storm, and it's adrift, and there's no signs of a crew on the deck. They radio it, but they don't get a message back in return. So Sam Neill decides to row over to the boat, but before he gets to do that, they spot a small boat with a single figure in it rowing towards them frantically. And in that boat is Billy Zane's character, a sort of young man, quite good looking. And he comes on, and he's kind of completely shell shocked. He's obviously appears to be suffering from PTSD. And he's like, the crew are all dead. I'm the only one left. We've got to get out of here. We've got to go back. And they look after him, and they give him a drink, and they let him lie down. And every time they suggest going to check the boat, to check the schooner, he says something to put them off. And you've seen this film, right? You must have seen this one.
I hate to disappoint, but I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, well, that's good. It's good that you're on the stream, because you're going to have a list of movies to watch. This is a 10 out of 10.
Indeed. I got my pen right here.
This is a 10 out of 10. This is definitely in my top 100 movies of all time by some considerable margin, probably in the top 50. It's a brilliant piece, brilliantly acted by the three leads. There's no one else in the film. And so Sam Neill rows over to the boat whilst Billy Zane's character is sleeping. And I'm not going to tell you any more about what happens after that. But I mean, this is a really fucking good movie. And this is Nicole Kidman pre-plastic surgery days. So she really looks amazing in this movie. Yeah, I mean, Sam Neill's performance in this is brilliant. This is just a brilliant piece, brilliant acting from all three leads. And I remember when I saw this movie, I was just straight away, I thought, oh, that's all a bit great.
Careful.
Yeah, let me skip through there. Yeah, that's Billy Zane jumping on the wife.
Naturally.
Good God, I'm trying to skip through these. How many of these are there?
All of them. It's literally all of them.
Naked butt shot. Why does IMDb put these photos on? They're not even official stills. Oh my God. Anyway, let's just get the poster back. That's a good
there
shot.
You go.
Looking slightly psycho.
Now that we've been spoiled again.
And this is one of those films where what was great about this cinema experience for me is I knew nothing about this film going in. It just had an interesting poster. This was the first film where I met Nicole Kidman. I hadn't seen her in anything before. I think this is like her first major outing on the big screen. And but the reason I went to see this film, not knowing anything about it, was because Sam Neill was in it. And he was an actor I was already following. I'd already seen him in A Cry in the Dark. I'd seen him in Attack Force Z, a couple of other things. And I thought, his stuff is pretty good. Everything I've seen him in has been pretty good. This was the UK cinema poster. I like this poster. This is a great poster. Much better than the other one, I think. That's the UK cinema poster that we had. And it's just the look on Kidman's face, and it doesn't give anything away. Yeah, a couple alone at sea. When a stranger called for help, they made a fatal mistake. They answered. Pretty good.
Bum, bum, bum.
Da, 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 da. So this is a 10 out of 10 movie for me. If I was doing a stream about top 10 thrillers, psychological thrillers or something like that, actually that's a good idea. We should do that. This would definitely be in that on that stream on my list for sure.
All right.
For sure. Banjo sandwich, trust you. Yes, this is the hot Kidman era for sure. But what
How
makes
dare you?
yeah, Abe's remembering Event Horizon. See, I'm one of the few people that I'm not mad on Event Horizon as a movie, because that trope of everybody faces their worst nightmares and then does crazy shit had already been done about 5 times before that. So I felt like I was just watching the same story with better sets, because it looked amazing. Event Horizon looked amazing. The look of the film, brilliant. I thought the story kind of sucked because I'd seen it before. It was the story was lifted off of another previous film. Anyway, let's get back to Sam Neill. So, anyone in the chat, if you've seen Dead Calm, you want to share some thoughts on it. But this is also on my top 5 Sam Neill films for absolute must that this is on there. So I'm just going to type that. Answers. God, it's so hard to type when you're hungover. What did you do this weekend?
Actually, I was sober the whole time. That was pretty nice. Let's see. This weekend, mostly prepping for future stuff, and kind of slogging my way through a remake of one of my favorite games.
Which game is that?
It was Assassin's Creed Black Flag. The remake came out, and it's really weird because like they just imported the original voice acting and then kind of slid in a couple of newer bits, but with different voice actors. So it's really jarring.
Right.
Yeah.
I never got into Assassin's Creed. It looked good, but I bought the original, and there was that weird time travel story, and now you're someone else in a different time. And is that right?
Kind of. You're reliving the memories of your
the memories of somebody, right? And I don't know. I just kind of I didn't really get into it. I just was like,
it's an interesting idea. It actually has some small bearing as far as epigenetics go, but yeah, it's pretty far-fetched, and they really jumped the shark after Black Flag. Yeah, at least the original one.
Well, let's refocus on the career of our good man. Yes. The next thing I saw Sam Neill in would have been it's Gold in Winter, Dark is Gold, The Hunt for Red October. Now, this film is in my book, Silver Screen Journeys, which if you like movies, you should pick that up. It's available on Amazon. It's about my life at the cinema, and it sort of catalogues 128 films I went to see, who I saw them with, where I saw them, and how that film landed with me going forwards in my life. Now, The Hunt for Red October, when I heard this was being adapted into a movie, I couldn't wait to see it. Because I'd read the book. I'd read the book twice, and I never read a book twice. The first book that I read twice was Tom Clancy's The Hunt for Red October.
Nice.
And I took my parents to see this on the opening night at Empire Leicester Square because they like a good spy thriller, and of course they're big fans of James Bond. Now, a lot of people do like this film, and I do like this film, but disappointingly for me, they changed the ending. And the ending in the book is so much better. And one of the things that happens is, because have you seen it? You've seen the movie, right?
Of course. Yeah, I saw it on a re-release actually over at one of our local theaters.
Right. So one of the things that happens is the thing where the missile comes around and destroys the submarine at the end, the Russian submarine that's hunting them. That didn't happen like that. What happened was he closed speed with that submarine really fast. they didn't have time to arm their torpedoes for that short distance. So the torpedoes were set to arm after like 2,000 yards or something. So when the torpedo hit the Red October, it just shattered on impact and didn't explode. And then the Red October hit the top of the conning tower of the Hunter-Killer submarine and turned it upside down and rolled it.
Oh.
And the tower broke open and all the water poured in. I was waiting to see that scene.
That would have been awesome.
And they didn't do that. They had the missile come back round and it blew up. And I was just like, what the fuck's this? So, yeah, that and Patriot Games. Patriot Games has got a whole massive action sequence with an M60 in the back of an electrician's van that guns down all the security outside the house at the end. Oh, that's a cinematic shot, just like waiting to happen. But anyway, going back to Sam Neill in this, he was great in this. He's a supporting character, number 2 to Sean Connery's character, who's the captain of the sub. And he's one of the Russian officers who's going to defect. And you know, these are 2 powerhouse actors. And they're both kind of doing accents. Sean Connery's doing Scottish with a bit of
yeah, Sean Connery didn't give a fuck at that time.
No, I mean, well, they did that thing. I thought this was clever.
The Russian submarine commander.
Yeah, they did that thing where they had them talking in Russian for like the first 5 minutes, and then he's in that scene in his office, and they kind of zoomed in and zoomed out, and then he was talking English. And it was basically the movie saying to you, these guys are Russian. They're always talking in Russian. But from this point onwards, now we've done this Zoom thing and stuff, you need to understand that now our actors are going to talk in English with a bit of a Russian accent from here on out. God. And I thought, okay, that's a good way, because total subtitled films don't sell well in America. Of course, 50% of the scenes were on the submarine.
Out of curiosity, just small side tangent. Have you ever heard of the movie Rising Sun?
I have. I've seen it.
With Sean Connery, where he speaks Japanese.
Yeah. That's
a wild thing to hear.
Is he making sense or not?
You can look around at the people listening, and the people who actually speak Japanese are like, what the fuck? Because he actually says, what is it? Ako shukioki toko shaketo.
Right.
People are like, I got something potato. What the fuck?
8 bits NK Boy 472. I think I've seen you in the chat once before. Yeah, unfortunately, most of our heroes will die before we do. Sad but true. Yeah, I mean, I remember the day that Robin Williams died.
Yeah.
And
that was a sad day.
He's another iconic actor whom feels like he lives 2 streets away from you. And you felt like you met, even if you hadn't met him, you felt like you'd met him. You felt like he was part of your life. He did these great choices of movies. Dead Poet Society is one of my favorite films of all time, probably in my top 5. I can't watch it now. I've tried. Every time I watch it now, I just burst into tears because of you know, thinking of him. But you know, he did Patch Adams. He did these very relatable movies where you felt like this person had been part of your life. I think Sam Neill, maybe to a lesser degree, but Sam Neill certainly is in that milieu of fabric.
It's like that reliable neighbor's dad.
Yeah, reliable neighbor's dad. That's a very good way of putting it. Just reminding people in the chat, if you want to come on with us and talk about Sam Neill for a little bit, you don't have to come on for very long. You're welcome to come on. The link is in the chat. Can you stick that link back up again for me?
Of course.
I'll drop it in the private chat as well, so we've got it constantly, so you can get it easily. Invite guests to the studio. So yeah, but I mean, in terms of, I mean, obviously things always change from the book, but I felt that submarine death wasn't a change they needed to make, and actually would have been really good. There's about 4 more submarines in the book that aren't in the movie. There's a second American one that gets quite a bit of time in the book, and there's another Russian one, and that Russian submarine is pushing itself too fast to get to the zone where the Red October is believed to be, and they blow something inside the sub, and a catastrophic accident happens, and that sub sinks, and all the Russians die. This is in the book. So in the movie, when there's that lovely, beautiful line said by that fucking amazing actor Richard Jordan, who died way too young, what a great actor he was. He says that, Andre, you've lost another submarine? That line is in the book, but it's actually referring to not the one that gets destroyed by its own missile. It's referring to the other submarine that sank and just due to an accident because they were pushing the motors too hard. And you know, because Russian submarines don't have very good maintenance records, as we know from the Kursk. So yeah, so that's what that line is actually referring to, because at that point in the timeline, the other guys wouldn't have known that the submarine was missing yet. You know. Anyway, I really like him in this movie, and but I wouldn't put this in my top 5 of must watches. It's a good movie. It's a good spy film. If you've read the book, it's one of the better adaptations of Clancy's books. I think the worst one is probably Clear and Present Danger. The book of that is so much better. And Patriot Games book so much better. But this is definitely one of the stronger ones. He's brilliant in it. And I think this is another performance of Neill's that shows what a versatile actor he is, because his Russian accent was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. Out of curiosity, how do you feel about the movie he worked alongside Robin Williams with, but Bicentennial Man?
That's a movie that I didn't see at the cinema when it came out. I caught it on video quite some time later, and I can't remember a thing about it other than it's a robot and it's about kind of humanity, and that's all I can remember. Yeah. I've only seen it once, and I just remember thinking, yeah, it was all right. I don't really want to watch it again. So I can't even recall anything Sam Neill's character says in that film.
Gotcha. No worries.
I mean, when did that come out?
Like early 2000s, I think.
Yeah, that's why, because my brain damage occurred in, was it 2005? I think maybe 2006. And the immediate.
Okay, my bad. It was 99.
Okay, yeah. So same thing. The 10 years from 95 to 2005, I can remember almost nothing. So
Gotcha.
And I know it's a film if I did watch it since, I can't remember, but good films I tend to watch again and again and again, or I have them in my collection. It's never been in my collection, not even in the VHS days.
Okay, well then, small spoiler for you: Robot Robin Williams, Sam Nielsen, epic 3-way. Check it out.
Okay. I probably should rewatch it, because it's probably one of those films that I watched and didn't really drink in, you know.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of, in the 90s, there was a lot of like big blustery action films like The Rock, and we had Con Air, you know, and I was kind of
so good.
Yeah,
love Con Air.
Yeah, I liked those. I don't know if you've noticed this, and we're going down another rabbit hole here, and I'll be brief. When Con Air originally trailered, in the original first trailer that dropped, there is a shot of one of the convicts firing an M60 machine gun out the back of the plane at the helicopters that are following them, that are trying to blow them up. You know, as they're flying sort of out of after they've taken off from that junkyard, and they're about to crash in Vegas. It's in that chase sequence.
Okay.
That shot is not in the movie, so that got cut.
Well, can confirm that.
Yeah. So
I did not recall that bit from the trailer, though.
Yeah. Again, if you want to come on, Proctor Files put the StreamYard link up there. So 8 bits. If you want to come on, mate, feel free. You don't have to come on camera. But if your glasses are as entertaining as mine, you must come on camera to restore balance to the galaxy. So Hunt for October, worth watching. Definitely a film I enjoyed. So it's one in his career to give a shout out to. Let's go back. So a few other things he did. I think the thing about Sam Neill as well is he was one of these actors who, even quite early on, flitted effortlessly between doing roles for TV and doing roles for movies. And I think a lot of that was to do with being Australian, and most of the work back then certainly in the 80s and early 90s, there wasn't a lot of homegrown Australian movies. You know, maybe a couple of dozen a year, but there was a lot of Australian TV. So, and I dare say he took what work he could when he would go home. Just looking through the list, of course, I saw Memoirs of an Invisible Man because I'm a massive John Carpenter fan. That film is generally considered to be awful. I actually quite like it. Sam Neill plays the villain. Chevy Chase apparently was a complete nightmare on the set. As
always.
Yeah, and he and Carpenter had very different ideas as to what the film should be and the tone of it and everything. Now I haven't seen Family Pictures, which is a mini series. Let's have a quick look at that. Sounds interesting. Okay, so it's a family drama told through flashbacks. Someone's looking through a photograph album, and so that's a good cast. Angelica Houston, no less. Sam Neill, Kyra Sedgwick. That's Mrs. Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon, of course, has that much accoladed spot of #1 actor in the world that I would like to work with, previously held by Gene Hackman. Dermot Mulroney. Yeah, so I might see if I can track that down. That'd be one of those straight-to-video things that ended up on VHS, probably made for Australian TV. So it's probably a solid family drama. But again, this just goes to show, you know, how versatile he was. Okay. Let's see. Do you know, I did not know he was born in Northern Ireland. I don't think I ever knew that. Did you know that?
I did not. I said he certainly never had any strong accent for that.
No, so he was born in 1947 in Omagh, County Tyrone, Northern Ireland, the son of an English mother and a New Zealand father. So that's where the down under connection comes from.
Gotcha.
As a result, he held 3 documented nationalities: New Zealand, Ireland, and United Kingdom. I always thought he was Australian and half. I knew he was half something. His great-grandfather, Percival Percy Neill, son of a wine merchant who imported wine from France, sounds like a great job, had left Belfast for Australia, where he joined a firm of merchants in Melbourne, eventually moving to New Zealand and settling in Douen in 1863. At the time of Neill's birth, his father was stationed in Northern Ireland, serving as an officer with the Royal Irish Fusiliers. Not a good place to be. Yeah, and then the family moved to New Zealand in 1954. And he started off as doing plays in university and that kind of thing. So actually his first jobs were all in New Zealand. TV, films, shorts, couple of adverts. And then Neill went to Australia, where he had a guest role in the TV show The Sullivans. He was the romantic male lead in My Brilliant Career opposite Judy Davis, which was a big international success. I'm not familiar with that film. Judy Davis was the female lead in... Oh, I have seen the poster for this before, but I don't think I've ever watched it. She was the female lead in Who Dares Wins with Lewis Collins. She was really good in that. So I guess that's what launched him then. My Brilliant Career. It seems like it was a big hit with the critics. Let me just get that up. I'm not going to put this in my top 5 because I haven't seen it. My Brilliant Career marks the beginning of exactly that for both the film's director and its star. And Judy Davis is the gutsiest young woman to win our hearts since Katharine Hepburn. You know what? I should go back and watch this movie, actually. This is going to be on my list.
Good nerd.
Yeah, I think so. I love those old adverts. So yeah, let's move on.
No.
Okay. So then, yeah, so international career. He won his first big international role as Damien Thorne, Son of the Devil, Omen 3, The Final Conflict. Also that year, played the main role in the cult film Possession.
Mm-hmm.
In the 1982 film of Ivanhoe, made Neill a local celebrity in Sweden, where it has been aired on SVTV every New Year's Day for 40 years. That's now, nice. You know what? I knew this, but I forgot about this. He was one of the leading candidates to succeed Roger Moore in the role of James Bond, but lost out to Timothy Dalton.
That would have been a wild thing to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could have done the suave and the charm, the action. I think he would have been. I think he would have been fine. He's as an actor, he's brilliant. I guess
I would say like
body doubles for the action. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Like definitely seeing him talk to people would be very effective as James Bond. Maybe I don't know if he has quite the face for it. But
yeah, his face is a bit too warm and fluffy, isn't it?
Yeah.
As you say, the friendly neighbor's uncle or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I think Timothy Dalton is a great Bond. It's such a shame he only got to do 2 movies. I think, he would have been, if they'd done 3 or 4 with him, would have been nice to see. But yeah, so that was that's interesting to be a celebrity in Sweden. And then
that was was it Bia in chat shout out that he was in Thor Ragnarok narrating the previous Thor films.
Right.
Like, I don't recall seeing him in Thor at all. But apparently, he was a narrator.
Was he a voice of a CGI character?
No, apparently he was a narrator of some sort.
Okay. I don't remember him in it either. Yeah, the Tudors. I'm going to come on and talk about that in a moment. I'm already on, but I'll be talking about it shortly. Yeah, so then we get into the 90s, and he did a mixture of stuff in the 90s, and of course the thing that everybody will remember him for is
Rainbow Warrior.
No, Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park. Now, Jurassic Park is great. I'm sure most people have seen it. I'm not going to put it in my top 5 as Sam Neill films you must watch. I think he's fine in it. He's very good in it. But it's just like he's done better performances. I'm not necessarily in better films, but I wouldn't put it in the top 5. Be in the top 10 maybe. But one of the best performances of his career was definitely in The Piano. Now, this is a miserable film. I'm just going to tell you, this is an Oscar bait movie, and it won a shitload of awards, about a woman who plays a piano on a stranded island. She's got a repressed sexual relationship with her husband, Sam Neill. She ends up shagging Harvey Keitel. It's very similar to Lady Chatterley's Lover, but interwoven with piano music and surreal images. And I mean, I went to cinema to see it, and I remember thinking when I was sitting there, because people raved about this movie at the time, I remember watching it thinking, well, the acting is all great in this movie. It looks good, but I don't care about anyone in it. All the characters in it are horrible to each other. And I'm just not really invested in anyone. But Sam Neill managed to make the whingy husband quite sympathetic. But it's an outstanding, it's an actor's movie. It's very much all about the performance and timing and stuff. So it's a great film to watch from an actor's point of view. If you're feeling miserable, don't watch The Piano. It's not going to cheer you up. I mean, I always remember the scene with the finger. So,
What?
Yeah, well, there's an amputation sequence in it that comes out of fucking nowhere. And I remember that was like the whole cinema went, woof, jumped up in at the same time, which was
God damn. Okay.
Yeah, it was. You don't see it coming, not even remotely. So, I mean, I could put The Piano in the top 5 because it's definitely one of his best performances and one of his best films. But I've got others that I want to put in, so I'm going to leave. Yeah. Oh, people are trying to get hold of me. My phone is binging bonging.
I say you are popular today.
Apparently so. Oh yeah, I've had about 5 texts come in. Okay, no, they're just friends. I'm going to put that on silent now, so it's not
just friends.
Well, what I meant was there's no urgent like work thing.
Okay.
I need the script now. That kind of thing, you know.
Gotcha.
I need the latest draft today. Can you proof these 80 pages in 5 minutes, please? That kind of thing. So let's continue looking at the 90s for Sam Neill. Obviously, Jurassic Park, you know, fucking groundbreaking movie for the special effects. A good adaptation of the book, although in the book Hammond dies, Richard Attenborough's character, he gets eaten. So they made that a bit more child friendly. 8 bits. I agree. The piano is depressing as fuck. Definitely not a film what I'd bother watching again. That was exactly my thought when I came out of the cinema. I thought this is going to win a lot of awards, but oh my god, what a miserable experience. But he was very good in it, to give Mr. Neill his due. But Jurassic Park. Now, Proctor, you're a bit younger than me, but you must have been of the generation where you saw Jurassic Park in the cinema, right?
I don't know if we saw it in the cinema. I recall watching it at home so fucking often, though. It was amazing.
I think if you'd seen it in the cinema, I think you would have remembered it. Probably. Yeah. Let's take this down so people don't think I'm referring to Jurassic Park. Definitely not a film I'd bother watching again. So it came out in 1993. I can't remember where I saw this. Again, it's that period of time that's all a bit blurry and kind of gone. But I think I was probably living up north, I think. But it's a great film. The pairing of Sam Neill and Laura Dern really makes this film work. They're completely believable as their characters and their love for each other and all of that stuff. I really like it. And yeah, Sam Neill, this role is effortless for him. You know, it doesn't feel like he's acting when you watch him in this. Late great Richard Attenborough there, who of course directed one of my favorite films of all time, A Bridge Too Far. This was a groundbreaking movie, and it's great that this is part of Sam Neill's history, because this is definitely a film that people will watch again. It's funny, actually. I said the same. Hi, Jacob. Jacob, come on if you want, mate. I'll send you the link. So Jurassic Park was a great cinema experience, up there with Jaws and OG Star Wars. So I remember when I came out of the cinema from seeing Jurassic Park, I said exactly the same thing. I said this and Independence Day are the only two movies that have given me that same, wow, I'm seeing something different here. This is groundbreaking. This is amazing. This is exciting. I'm engaged. Jurassic Park was one of those movies. Independence Day was another, because it had groundbreaking visual effects at the time. It was just so epic. Whether you love or hate the film, I personally love the film. And then, you know, another film that did that for me was Avatar. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Avatar, but I really love it. So not so much the second one or the third one. But the first one I really love. I mean, the second and third one are fine. I'm quite happy to go back to that world as often as possible, but I'm not sure we need to see the same battle sequence 3 times. Right. Indeed. But Jacob, if you want to come on, mate, Procto's just put the link in the chat, so just come in if you want to come on. Abe, same thing, mate. If you want to come on, just come on. So obviously it was great that Sam Neill had that as part of his resume. Other things that he made in the 90s that I've seen that warrant a mention, and let me see if there's anything to add to my top 5 Sam Neills that you must watch. Was he in that? I think I just caught on his CV that he was in Submerged. Was that not the one with Steven Seagal? Surely he didn't do a Steven Seagal movie. Oh no, this is a different one. Okay, all right, good. What were you doing? He didn't do a Steven Seagal movie, because there's a Steven Seagal movie called Submerged, and it's pretty bad.
What are you talking about? Steven Seagal movies are amazing with how bad they are.
Yeah, I love Space Ice's channel where he talks about them and the way he does it. It's just so funny. I've had hours entertainment from watching his stuff. So also in the 90s, another one that he did, which is a favorite of a lot of people's, is Event Horizon. Like I said, I personally, I know most people would disagree with me. I personally, it's not that I'm not a fan of the movie. I like the movie. The movie's fine, but it is essentially a remake of about 5 other films. People having to face their own nightmares, and that's what this thing gives them. And I've seen that so many times. But I think you should watch In the Mouth of Madness if you haven't seen it. That's one of the best performances of his career, and he completely makes that movie. Some people think that's John Carpenter's last good movie. And I can't think of what films he's had come out since 1994. But
sorry, give me 1 sec. Apparently, my alarm clock's now going off.
Okay. Yeah, he did a voice on The Simpsons, which is, I don't remember that episode, but that's very cool. So yeah, In the Mouth of Madness. If you haven't seen it, it's a good Sam Neill. Sam Neill basically is the lead in the movie. I can't say too much about this film without giving it away, but it's about the descent of an author into madness. And is he really seeing what he's seeing, or isn't he? And is the stuff really there? Really, really, really amazing performance in this show. Quite fantastic stuff. And would this make my top 5? I mean, it's a good horror film. I don't know that it's a great horror film. It's a good horror film, but it is great Sam Neill. It's definitely one of the best performances of his career. So as this is all about Sam Neill, I think I'm going to put that as my number 3. So I'm going to type that in. There we go. Proctor, you back?
Yep, I'm back.
Okay. So I'm going to put In the Mouth of Madness at number 3. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have. Excellent choice.
Yeah. I mean, I just said as you were away just then, I think it's a good horror film, not necessarily a great horror film. I wouldn't put it in my top 10 horrors of all time.
Yeah, but as far as his performance goes.
But as far as his performance, I mean, he completely sells the film as well. Yeah, and it's definitely one of the best performances of his career. For sure.
No worries, Jake.
You must watch number 3. In the Mouth of Madness. Okay. Boom. So yeah, that's going to be my number 3. No worries, buddy. Anyone is welcome. Anyone that's watching is welcome to come on this stream. So whether you're a YouTuber or not, don't really care as long as you like Sam Neill. Don't come on to bitch about Sam Neill. You'll be leaving the stream very quickly. So okay, yeah, In the Mouth of Madness, another good film that he did, or another great performance that he did in the 90s. Let's look at his other 90s efforts. Okay.
I can't imagine anybody actually complaining about Sam Neill, though.
Well, I've got about 3 friends that have worked with him. I think I've got another 2 that visited sets that he was at.
Yeah.
All of them said, what an amazing guy, just really friendly, really warm. Cheers, bud. Thank you for popping on. Appreciate you. Yeah, generally actors that have got a bad reputation, they like staying in their trailer watching the football. You have to, wait half an hour for them to finish doing what they're doing before they come out. That kind of bollocks, absolute nonsense behavior. Their reputation comes out pretty fast, especially now with social media. Yeah. And people are much less tolerant in the film industry of that sort of behavior now because there's so many good actors out there. Why would you want to get an actor on your set that has got a reputation for causing problems? Why would you want to risk it with that actor over here when you can go with this actor over here who's apparently a really nice guy? Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons why he never stopped working. You're getting a good actor and you're getting a nice guy on your set. The best of both worlds where a director is concerned.
Absolutely ideal.
There's a few things in the 90s of Sam's that I haven't seen. I did see Sirens. I saw that at the cinema. Kind of a bizarre movie. Now, the Rainbow Warrior movie warrants a mention. This is not to do with gay pride. It's a TV adaptation based on the true story of the sinking of the Greenpeace ship in Auckland Harbour in 1985 and the subsequent investigation by the New Zealand police led by Sam Neill. I've seen this. It's actually a pretty good film because it was a Greenpeace ship and French intelligence operatives planted a bomb on board it and sank it. Unfortunately, they killed 2 people in the process.
Oh, no.
So technically murder that people got away with, you know?
Oh.
Yes, it's a good story. Again, Sam Neill, effortlessly brilliant in it. I watched this a couple of times. And you know what? Actually, I want to rewatch this at some point. Are you on a desktop at the moment?
Me? Yeah.
Do you want
I'm on a laptop.
Have a quick look and see if you can find this on YouTube. I think it might be on YouTube. If it is, we'll put the link in the chat because it's quite an old movie. But definitely one of Sam Neill's films from the 90s, if you can watch it. And also, if you like your true story crime dramas and stuff like that, again, it's, you know, it might be a TV movie, but it's a really good film. And quite eye-opening as well in terms of the sort of subterfuge that goes on with that kind of thing. So, let's see. I remember Country Life, but I didn't watch it. Jungle Book, you talked about. In Cold Blood TV miniseries sounds familiar. Let's have a quick look at that. Yes, I have seen this. This is based on Truman Capote's true crime classic, and it was nominated for 2 Primetime Emmys. Follows a pair of ex-cons, Anthony Edwards and Eric Roberts. Anthony Edwards is one of my favorite actors of all time. This was in Eric Roberts' heyday when he was still making good stuff, before he kind of, you know, did these films for a paycheck and stunt casting and came in for a few days. I did see this. I rented it from the video store. It's pretty good. I don't remember that much about it, but there's been about 4 other films about the Truman Capote book based on this case. So, but it is good. It's worth watching. Again, if you're a big Sam Neill fan. Again, if you're a true crime buff, worth tracking down. Is that Rainbow Warrior? Is it on YouTube? Yep.
I just put the link in.
I knew it would be fantastic. Oh, that's good. I might stick that on later today.
Cool deal.
Restoration was pretty big when that came out. The exiled royal doctor to King Charles II devotes himself to helping Londoners suffering from the plague, and in the process falls in love with an equally poor woman. That starred Robert Downey Jr. and Sam Neill. Sam Neill played the king. It was quite a different role for Neill, but he was pretty good in it. I've only seen this once. I think I saw it at the cinema. Maybe it's a rental. I can't remember. It's a long time ago. And there you go. There's Robert Downey Jr. with the appropriate Edwardian attire. Meg Ryan. Meg Ryan plays the poor woman.
Sam Neill plays the king.
There he is. I wonder if he got to keep that hat and he could take it to like the races and stuff.
Good luck taking it away.
My recollection of this is that it's pretty decent. I think, Paul, that's your assessment. Sam Neill is one of the greats of the last 40 years, if not of all time. Absolutely agree with that. I mean, he would definitely be, if I compiled a list of 50 actors who've had great careers and are very diverse careers, I mean, he'd probably be in the top 10, you know. 8-Bit says, it seems I've seen very little of things Sam's appeared in. No, you've seen lots that he's appeared in, but there's lots more other stuff that you just haven't seen.
Yeah, so, like, his whole resume is full of stuff I've never even heard of, but most of it's for like TV shows in like different countries, streaming services that I just don't use, a lot of voiceover work. He's been all over the place. He just seems to be doing whatever the hell he wants.
But it's like I said,
And
he
yeah,
never stopped working.
yeah.
He was married twice. I don't want to get into and twice divorced. I don't want to get into the gossip of why that may have been, but our industry is not kind to relationships. And I suspect that one of the problems may have been that he was never home because he's constantly working. I mean, you look at his resume, there isn't a year that goes by where he hasn't worked. And in some years, he's done just a couple of projects. In other years, he's done 4 or 5, you know. So,
Which is a lot for any actor.
That's a lot. Other stuff in the 90s. He also did Victory with William Dafoe. Pretty good movie from what I can vaguely recall. It's one that most people won't have seen. But again, I'd probably put it on your radar. And if you're looking for a load of films you haven't seen, this would be another one worth watching. Probably also free on YouTube, I would think. Yes, indeed. I have seen Sam Neill in many a good film, and there is many a good film with Sam Neill in that I've not seen. The lesson. Yeah, so that's another one people might want to check out from 1996. And do check out The Rainbow Warrior. Proctor Files put the link in the chat. So we also have in the 90s. I mean, I'll again, it's not my favorite, but we've got Event Horizon, which some people love this film. I know Critical Drinker's a big fan of it. I just think I had seen it already. In fact, there was even a straight to video movie that came out around the same time. It was called Dark Side of the Moon. It was a Roger Corman, and I don't know if that got rushed into production before this came out, but the plot was basically exactly the same. So I'd seen like this really low rent version of Event Horizon about 6 weeks before I went to the cinema to see Event Horizon. And I was like, oh, this is that other movie, but basically with a bigger budget and some bigger acting names, but the plot's exactly the same. And I just find that trope of you're going to face your darkest demons, whatever they are, in order to, you know, succeed in the quest. You've got to overcome your darkest demons. That trope's been overused a bit. But it is a good movie, especially the visuals of this, the production design, interiors of the spaceships and so on. Really quite outstanding stuff. But again, Sam Neill, very good in it. And actually, his was one of my more favorite performances of the cast in that film. You've seen Event Horizon, right?
Yeah, ages. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I've only seen it twice. I did rent it one more time after. But again, it was one of those movies when I left the cinema, kind of thought, yeah, it was all right. I don't really want to see it again. It was all right.
Now, I can agree with Wormy's premise statement here. They just didn't have the balls to go all the way.
Yeah. And the first 20 minutes of Event Horizon is fucking awesome. This amazing premise is set up and everything, and you're kind of wondering what's happened with that other ship and the crew, and then it's, you know, oh, okay, they went mad because they had to face their darkest demons. Oh, okay, so
yeah, whatever.
So, you know, but Sam Neill, very good in it. So also in the 90s with Sam Neill, we have The Horse Whisperer. He had a role in that. With the late great Robert Redford. Yeah, it was all right. It's about horses and people bonding with horses. It's a girls' movie. I'm being facetious, but yeah, it was, you know, it's beautifully shot. It's very Robert Redford. It's beautifully shot. It's got a beautiful score and so on. The games I saw, that's quite fun. Bicentennial Man, as I said, I've seen it once and can't remember a thing about it. So I think I need to rewatch that, especially if you're telling me that's one of the best performances of his career.
And I said 3-way between Robin Williams is a robot, Sam Neill, and another mystery person I'm just not going to spoil.
Okay. Could you look up Sally Hemings' An American Scandal for me?
Sure. Yeah, I can try.
Let's see if that's on YouTube. The epic television miniseries explores the complicated relationship of Thomas Jefferson and slave Sally Hemings, who conducted a 38-year ocean-spanning love affair that produced children, grandchildren, and lots of controversy. This I have to see.
Huh.
I love that Family Guy joke where Thomas Jefferson goes to take a photograph and he says, hang on, let's get all the kids in here. Let's get all the family in here. And about 400 people turn up. But yeah, I need to. And Sam Neill is the lead in this. So I want to see this. Is it on YouTube?
So I found a 40-minute documentary. Yeah, that might be it.
No, this will be a feature film length. Sally Hemings, An American Scandal.
Well, on IMDb, it says it was in 2 episodes. So there
might be yeah. So maybe you found the first episode, perhaps.
Maybe, but yeah. What's interesting is like, apparently I watched about half of it and then stopped for some reason. I've
seen this. I because as you know, I've got big sections of my memory missing. But sometimes I'll see something that I remember this scene between Mayor Winningham, who's an actress I admire very greatly, and Carmen Ejogo, and this scene, this face-off scene. I know I've seen this, so I probably did rent it when it came out because I'd rent a lot of those made-for-TV movies that would come out on the Odyssey label, and a lot of them were really good. You know, like the Deliberate Stranger with Mark Harmon about Ted Bundy. That was a 2-part VHS. That was great, really, really good. The electronic music in it hasn't aged very well, but apart from that,
no, a lot of it doesn't.
No. Yeah, very over synthesized. But you might want to check out, if you haven't seen it, you might want to check out Sally Hemings, An American Scandal. Does that look like part 1, or is that an actual separate documentary?
I don't recall. Let's find out. I'll compare it to the IMDb stuff.
Yeah, sure. So coming up to the end of the 90s, I think there's one more recommendation I personally want to make. Let's see here. Oh, that's in the year 2000. Okay, no. So, but I do have my number 2 pick for Sam Neill films you must watch. So, if you haven't seen this film, and by the way, Procto, you won't have seen this movie. You must watch it. You're going to love it. It's really good. And by the way, these aren't in order of any particular preference. I'm not saying one film is better than the others. I'm just saying these are 5 absolute requisite movies. So number 2 on my list is The Dish. Have you seen The Dish?
You are correct. I have not.
Yeah, you score nil point. So there's a clip of The Dish that is really funny. So it's a very inspired human comedy. That's one way of looking at it. It's the true story about when this remote radar dish, which is known locally as The Dish, it's a real place, it does exist, suddenly became an important hinge in an American space mission because they're down under, so to speak. When the spacecraft loses contact with Houston, they can pick up the signals down under from this particular satellite radar dish in Australia. So suddenly the Australians that kind of ran the dish, that it wasn't really doing anything, they suddenly found that they were suddenly playing a very important role in this kind of vital mission for humanity. Now, the dish also features in my Diamonds in the Sky book, and one of the main characters works there. The dish is currently part of Project Listen, which is an official NASA collaboration with various other agencies, trying to find contact with alien life. So Project Listen, listening for signs of life. But it's really about a small town, and Sam Neill plays a local scientist who wanders around with his pipe a lot. It's really about a small town that's suddenly kind of thrust into the limelight, which it's not used to, and suddenly feeling that, you know, that this whole project rests in them getting it right, and they don't want to mess it up. And so, you know, the small town is making itself very busy to try and ensure that all goes well and America doesn't get upset with them. And it's funny because Sam Neill's wearing a jacket that says 2 paddocks, and the funny thing about the dish is it's located in the middle of a sheep paddock. That's why you've got the poster with all the sheep on it.
Gotcha.
Hence this picture. Yeah, so add this to your list, Procto.
Just did.
Excellent. There's a really funny clip where the American ambassador, and the town is called Parks. Just remembered it. So the American ambassador goes to visit the town of Parks to prepare for, you know, goodwill and the upcoming NASA mission, and make sure everything is tickety-boo as it should be. And the mayor of the local town, the mayor of Parks, he basically sets up like a big welcoming committee with a party and a band and all the rest of it, right? And yeah, to welcome the American ambassador. And this is the moment where the American ambassador is welcomed to the town of Parks. Got to show you this clip. It's so fucking funny. Right, here we go. Let me just check the audio's working.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Audio working? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Let me put that back. That really happened. It's based on a true story. Yeah, it's a great film. I saw that at the cinema. And this was around the time that you had that film called The Castle, which was an Australian film that did very well overseas. Also a true story about a man trying to protect his house from being demolished by airport expansion, based on a true story. And the dish was made by the same producers as The Castle. And I love both of those movies. Yeah, mate, that's funny as fuck, that scene.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to figure out, like, how would that even happen? Because, like, everybody on Earth knows the American national anthem, basically.
Yes, but more people on Earth watch Hawaii Five-0 with Jack Lord. That's the thing.
I suppose.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find a clip from the dish with Sam Neill in it. And he's great in this. He's great in this movie. He's very. He totally underplays the character. But it's really, really, really well done. And again, I think it's one of his best roles. It's a great film. It's, you know, a film that's good for the whole family. Let me just see if yeah, this is it. All right. So I'll show this scene. Hopefully this will be considered under fair use. It is a Sam Neill dedication stream after all. So a quick look at this. I won't show the whole clip because it's 5 minutes long. We'll just watch the first minute or so. That give you an idea of the kind of humor in it. This is just such a great movie. We're a professional unit. So that's the dish that Sam Neill did in 2000. It's one of my favorite movies of his. It's one of my favorite, probably my favorite Australian film of all time, I think. And this is the UK cinema poster for it. It's a small image. Let me put it up. But it's a kangaroo looking into the space helmet of a NASA astronaut, which I thought was fucking great. And sort of it sums up the film really well. And that's the UK cinema poster. See if we can get that's a slightly larger version. Euston's are the problem, the dish. Yeah, So, good movie. My cousin Anna is in the chat. Lovely to see you. Hearing some girl at the radio butcher the US national anthem while trying to imitate Whitney Houston is an American rite of passage. Anna, do you want to come on briefly?
Very specific, right?
Sam Neill, the link is in the chat. If you want to come on, do come on. You know, even if it's just for 10 minutes, if you've got a favorite Sam Neill movie you want to talk about. Yeah, the passing of a legend. And one of the nicest people in the film industry as well. Yeah, I definitely would have loved to have worked with Mr. Neill for sure. But maybe in the next life.
Yeah.
Maybe in the next life.
So we're all so lucky.
Yeah, indeed.
There we are. There we are.
So we're going into the early 2000s now.
Yeah.
Of Sam Neill's career, and I'll just get his career list back up. Of course, we're coming to Procto's favorite Sam Neill film, which is, of course, The Magic Pudding. I joke, of course. I've not heard of The Magic Pudding, but I feel we should click on it and have a look. The Magic Pudding.
Let us do the things.
It looks like a pudding that's been to a rave. Sam Neill does one of the voices, always running away but never running out. Yeah, well, there you go. He's been to a rave. Okay, so The Magic Pudding. That's another film we did that most people probably hadn't seen. Yeah. So after The Dish and other greats like The Magic Pudding, he was in Submerge, which is a submarine movie. It's not great. It's not a great film. I have seen it. The Zookeeper was pretty well regarded at the time. I saw it once, can't remember much about it. Again, this is a couple of years before I had my brain injury, so all the early 2000s, extremely difficult to remember. I remember thinking Jurassic Park 3 was a bit shit. Did you see Jurassic Park 3?
Of course.
Yeah, I'd always, I don't know, Jurassic Park 2 was okay.
Yeah, like even as a kid, Jurassic Park 3, imagine like basically creating a mold of any velociraptor appendage and then trying to use it to communicate.
Yeah.
On the spot would be tall order for anybody.
There's a few things here that I'm interested in looking at that I don't think I've seen. So I remember when the TV mini-series of Dr. Zhivago came out. I didn't watch it. I'm a big fan of the original movie. But I guess Sam Neill was third billed after the two leads in this. Did you see this miniseries?
I did not. Is this another like British one?
Keira Knightley. This must be one of her very early roles. I don't think it's a British production.
All right. Yeah, this was in early 2000s. I'd been in junior high at the time. It probably wouldn't have been in my wheelhouse.
No, probably not. If it had been called Dr. Zhivago grabs two Uzis and attacks Russia, then you might have.
Potentially. Everybody thought that'd be more my speed back in the day, but I was actually watching As Good as It Gets.
Did a TV movie called Framed. I mean, he likes going back and doing his TV movies.
Yeah. I noticed that a lot. Like a lot of them were straight to TV, and probably why I didn't see most of them.
But a lot of his TV films, I've seen quite a few of them, probably about half of the ones he's done, were actually pretty good. Framed, which was, he co-starred with Rob Lowe. I don't think I've seen this. Maybe I have, but I don't think so.
Yeah, because I'm looking at stuff now, and like, how many of us have ever even heard of the movie Jessica?
I have heard of the movie Jessica,
like
but then
the one with Sam Neill.
Pretty sure.
Okay. Well, the premise is very straightforward. Young Jessica is sent to a mental asylum by her rotten family on a false pretense. Her only chance is a down on his luck boozing lawyer.
Yeah, I've seen it.
No.
I have. Yeah, he's the one that Sam Neill plays the lawyer with the alcohol problem. He's the one who gets her out.
Mm.
And I think it's all about her like inheritance being taken by the family. You know, she's the one who's in the will is entitled to lots of money. Well, I'll pull it up in a second. This is Stiff, which is an interesting title for a movie.
You got the American anthem up again.
What's that?
You have the guys playing the American anthem up again.
Do I?
Yeah.
Not on my screen.
Oh, up on your public. Oh, nope, that's my mistake. Apparently, somehow my live feed of yours got back.
Okay, so it went back in time.
My bad. Ignore me.
Stiff looks interesting. Great cast. He's one of our men from Lord of the Rings. I love David Wenham. Such a great actor. Great presence. Another actor that doesn't need to do much on screen to make you follow him around the room. But I don't think I've heard of this movie before. So I just want to see if there's any more info on what kind of film it is. Murray Wheeland, a young political advisor to the Labour Minister for Ethic Affairs, must play detective when he gets unwillingly dragged into a murder investigation based on a popular Australian series of detective books. Okay. So again, sort of homegrown show. Well, that could be fun to see some other time. Yeah, so Jessica, let's have a look at that. I have seen that. I remember him playing the drunken lawyer. I think I can't remember when or where, but I think that was another one that I rented out of the video store while video stores were such a thing. Let's have a look here. What year was that?
Which one?
Jessica.
That was.
I've got it. 2004.
Gotcha.
It's a TV movie. It's 3 hours, 16 minutes long. So I guess like effectively a mini series two-parter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sent to a mental asylum by a rotten family. I do remember this for sure. And I think it's set like it's not contemporary. I think it's set a while ago, like in the 50s or something like that.
Yeah. It's definitely a period piece.
Yeah, and it may be one of these things that's based on a true story. Just seeing if there's anyone else in it I know. A couple of other Australian actors, but yeah, I'd be interested in looking at that. Current rating on IMDb is 7.5, so that's
indeed very high for anything going straight to TV.
I definitely saw it because, I mean, again, this is certainly the early 2000s. I've got very little memory of it, but this is definitely the period where Sam Neill, you know, he can take on anything, really. And seeing him playing a drunken lawyer, he was good. I do remember he was good. I liked it. I liked the film. Don't have it in my DVD collection or anything, but okay. So continuing with Mr. Neill's career. Let's see. Other recommendations or other finds of things that, oh, that sounds good, that we haven't seen. So one of the things I wanted to ask you about, have you seen this Alcatraz TV series in 2012? Because I don't even remember that.
I don't recall hearing about it either.
So Alcatraz there, just go down a bit.
Yeah, he was in 13 episodes of it.
Yeah, so clearly a significant role. So, right, so there's Jessica and Steve. So, yes, I feel like I've seen Oh no, maybe not. Joan Allen. I love Joan Allen. Amazing actress. But I won't spend time on that because I'm not sure I have seen that. Maybe I just saw the poster sometime. But there's a number of other things here of his that I haven't seen that I would really like to check out. Wimbledon I saw, that was very so-so. To the Ends of the Earth miniseries, 2005. Does that sound familiar to you?
No.
Again, I think this just demonstrates the length and breadth of this guy's work.
Yeah, for sure. Because like I'm looking through most of it now. I don't think I've seen hardly any of this stuff.
Yeah, well,
and when it comes to like Jurassic World Dominion, like there's no way I was going to watch that.
Oh, I was after Jurassic World Part 3. I was done. I think I saw a later one with my ex-partner. We went to see one and we were very disappointed with it. It was the one where it was like it was set up like a wildlife park. You know, like it had gone forward. It was set further in the future. It had gone forward. The park had actually opened, and the public were there. And it was like, and it all went wrong, and so lots of people were getting killed, except that they weren't really. It didn't push the potential of what it could have been. Yes, I have seen this. I thought this sounded familiar. To the Ends of the Earth is with Benedict Cabbage Patch. But more importantly, my friend Victoria Hamilton is in it. Great actress. Jared Harris, son of Richard Harris, also great. And this is all set on board a ship. And it's, you know, the characters kind of learn things through the journey. It's one of those. But it's good. It's worth seeing. It's got a good cast.
Good deal.
Yeah, Benedict very young in this one. And as you can guess from this picture, Sam Neill plays the moody, unpopular character. Just wonder if that's probably the back of Victoria's head. I suspect. Charles Dance is in it as well.
Indeed.
Yeah, I definitely have seen this. I can't remember much about it, but I've seen it.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty good.
All right. Just so you know, I got to head out to work here in a few minutes.
Okay, would you want to duck out now?
Yeah, probably the best move, just because there's very little of this stuff I've seen left.
Okay, no problem. I'm probably going to go for
way.
about another 20 minutes or so, half an hour. But listen, Procto, great to have you come in. Do you want to say a final word about Sam Neill's career before you disappear?
Sam Neill is one of those actors that, like, I don't know about you, but I cannot think of a single day of my conscious life where I wasn't aware of his existence. Even if I wasn't aware of what he was doing, I knew that he was around. And as I said, he always left that impression of like a reliable older neighbor that you could always go to if you needed help or advice, somebody you could talk to. And it just sucks to wake up today and know that that guy you always knew was there is no longer.
I think that's really well put. It does feel like there are certain movie stars that have a certain charisma and a certain quality, and like I said at the beginning of the stream, they feel like they could just live 2 streets away from you because you feel you know them so well.
Yeah.
And it definitely feels like a friend has left the building. So,
yeah. And
all right. Well, listen, buddy, thank you for popping on. You have a great day at work, and I'll see you soon.
I'll do my best. You do the same. Best wishes to y'all. Y'all take care.
Yeah, he was very good looking. He rocked it. Even in his 70s, he rocked it. Probably going to go for about another 20 minutes, half an hour. If anybody watching wants to come on and say a few words about Sam Neill or any of his work, please do. So, looking at his later career, it's very easy for me to pick out my number one pick for top 5 Sam Neill films you should watch. And if you haven't seen it, you absolutely must watch it. And it's this movie, The Hunt for the Wilder People. Now, this is directed by Taika Waititi, who I know has kind of dropped from popularity of late. But it's a really, really good, heartwarming film. Sam Neill's brilliant in it. I don't really want to say too much about it. If you haven't seen it, you're better off going into this movie knowing nothing about it and just like let it unfold. But it's a really beautiful film. I saw it at the cinema. I think I saw this one with my ex-partner. Check the year that it came out. I feel like we saw it together. Yeah, 2016. Yeah. And this is the thing: is like when a film makes a strong impression. This is the thing about movies and the legacy of movies is you don't just remember the film. You remember that time in your life, unless you had brain damage and you can't remember anything about that time in your life. But yeah, everything from 2006 is pretty good for me. So this was in 2016. I saw it with my ex-partner. I can't remember which cinema we saw it at. I want to say Camden Odeon, but I'm not 100% sure. And we both came out of it sort of feeling good. It was a heartwarming movie. Very well directed, very well written. The child actor's great. And I remember that being a good day, you know. And 2016, I think, was probably the year everything started going wrong for us because my film got delayed. And then we realized in 2017 was when the news came out that that film wasn't actually going to happen because the film producers on it were bogus cunts. So, you know, you think, you talk about that film, The Hunt for the Wilder People, and you're immediately taken back to the place and the time where and when you saw that film, who you saw it with, what memories does that connect for you? And this connects to positive memories for me because I was still very much in love with my then partner. We were still together. We were starting to face some difficulties, but we were trying our best to work out what we were going to do and find a way through. And yeah, this film takes me back to that time. That's the beauty of good cinema. It will take you back to certain times in your life, and you'll always remember that moment and how that film connects to that moment. And this one is definitely one of those. So this is my 5 recommendations. This is number 1. Like I said, these 5 recommendations are not in any particular order. It's just 5 films of Sam Neill's that if you haven't seen them, you absolutely must watch. And Hunt for the Wilder People is definitely one of those. Damn, 8-Bit, you've never heard of it. Yeah, it's a Taika Waititi. This was, I think this was not long after he did, I can't remember when What We Do in the Shadows came out. Was that mid-2000s? This was the 2nd or 3rd film after that. But I found this, What We Do in the Shadows, and Eagle versus Shark were great movies. And again, you know, this is about Sam Neill, and he was amazing in this film. He was really good. Yeah, and it's a solid movie. I won't keep us on too much longer, but let's just look at his more recent work and see what there is to add on the list of stuff we should watch that we might not have seen in Sam Neill's career. So, you know, he did a number of Jurassic Park sequels and whatnot. I don't think we need to spend any time about those. Now, he did this TV series called Flack. I don't know about that. He also had a guest role on Rake. Rake is an excellent Australian TV comedy show about this dodgy lawyer. He doesn't play the dodgy lawyer in question. He plays just a guest role in one episode. But I definitely recommend it. There's a number of other TV miniseries here. House of Bond, Tutankhamun. I think I saw that one, which may well be worth a watch. Cinema Quarantine. This is stuff he made when he was, I guess, in lockdown. Five little films. That's kind of cool. Flack. Let's have a look at this. I'm not familiar with this. Robin, an American publicist, works for a cutthroat London PR company that represents troubled celebrities. Is adept at keeping her clients' lives appearing in perfect order while her own falls to pieces. So I guess this was one season, 12 episodes. It's got some people that I know in it. Mark Warren, met him a few times. Paul Reedy, I've met. And Sam Neill did 2 episodes. I don't know if this is worth tracking down. The rating is 7.3. That's not bad. Just have a look at some of the reviews here. Shady, witty, very funny writing. Maybe more for girls. Phenomenal acting by Anna Paquin. Enjoyable, funny, rude, and perfectly timed. Fabulous, great woman ensemble comedy drama. So maybe not something to watch for Sam Neill necessarily, but perhaps something to watch. Sounds pretty good. Thank you, Smilexia. Thank you for this. By the way, if you want to pop on and maybe talk about that film, you can come on. The link is in the chat, but I'll put it in again in case anyone wants to pop on. You don't have to come on camera. You can stay off camera. There's a link if you want to come on. Sam Neill always seemed like a decent chap. His career is pretty fantastic. Never a major draw, but always found in interesting projects from Possession to The Mouth of Madness. He will be missed. Yeah. I mean, the guy never stopped working, which tells you how much people liked him. People liked having him on a set. You know, a Sam Neill set would be a happy set. He did this Invasion TV series, which I sort of vaguely recall that was kind of a disappointment. Where's that film you recommended? Ride Like a Girl. Let's have a look at this. The story of Michelle Payne, the first female jockey to win the Melbourne Cup. I remember this film coming out. I haven't seen it. I do remember it coming out. So that's another true story worth a watch. Yeah, all right. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I think I might give that a go. Ride like a girl. Not something you often hear people shout out. Ride that like a girl. Just don't want to miss anything. Obviously, you know, the man's body of work is immense. And somebody mentioned earlier he did a guest role on Peaky Blinders. A Long Way Down's not a terrible film. It's all right. Adaptation of the book. But he was in Escape Plan. Yeah. And this Alcatraz series, I vaguely remember this being discussed. In 1963, all the prisoners and guards mysteriously disappeared from Alcatraz. Oh, God, I remember that. In the present day, they resurface, and a secret agency is tasked with recapturing them. Yeah, I do remember this, actually. I think I saw 2 episodes of it, or it might have just been the 2-hour premiere event. I can't remember why I didn't watch the rest of it. I guess it was a one and done season. Oh, hang on. Yeah, was it? Yeah, season 1, 13 episodes. Great show, no ending. Compelling series killed off before its time. So this would be one of those shows where they didn't wrap it up. It got cancelled, didn't get renewed. So it's kind of pointless watching it unless you want to check out the performances of Sam Neill. But I'm sure he's very good in it. That's a shame. That's a shame. But there's so many shows like that. And when you got to pick your time wisely, you've got to you can't watch everything. You got to choose your viewing pleasures. All right, let's have a look at what else we've got. There's a few other titles here before I wrap up. Don't forget, if you do want to come on the stream, we're not going for much longer, but if you do want to come on, do come on. Smilex is here. Hello. Smilex here.
Hello there. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. I don't think you've been on my channel before, have you?
Once we did it a long time ago. I think we had done something about with Neill and I. I feel we did something there, but maybe a long time ago. It may have been with Northern Bastard. I'm not sure.
I think that was with Northern. I think that
right.
Was
okay.
Northern. Yeah. But well, welcome back, mate.
Thank you very much, Lance. Thank you very much.
You were recommending the Horsey film.
Yeah, I mean, just it's one of those ones that just kind of went under the radar a little bit, which is why I bring it up. It's not the strongest film out of his massive career, but as a later film that a lot of people won't have even heard of, it's a nice, sweet little film. It's it's kind of got that Aussie sort of humor to it, which translates quite well to Britain, I think, because we have a sort of a very similar sort of style of humor. And it's gentle. It kind of reminds me a little bit like watching Babe or something like that, but it's a nice, sweet little film. I do recommend it. It'll pass a couple of hours quite happily.
Did you catch my top 5 recommendations?
I've literally just come in, so I've just kind of caught it when you were talking about the Wilder people. So I've kind of missed the previous 4, unfortunately.
Well, I'm interested to know how many of them you've seen.
All right. Okay.
So let's go through them quickly.
All right. Sure thing.
So my top 5, the first one, and these not in any particular order, it's just 5 films of his you must watch, was A Cry in the Dark, which was the true story of Lindy Chamberlain and the missing baby with the dingo.
Yeah, I do remember that one. God, there were at the time, I remember that really seeped into the culture.
Yeah,
there were jokes about babies and dingoes. Like lots of stand-ups were doing the dark jokes about babies and dingoes for quite a while after that film came out. It really did put that story under a spotlight. So
yeah, I mean,
I remember having impact.
We were talking about exactly that earlier, actually. How it became part of the public consciousness, and they did a great scene in the movie where it was a montage of just ordinary people at dinner parties, journalists in room, all arguing about the case.
Yeah.
And it was showing how much people were talking about it. It was really well done. So that was so you've seen that one.
I have seen that one.
So far you scored 1 point.
Okay.
Let's see. Then the next one was Dead Calm.
Yeah, Dead Calm, Nicole Kidman. Yeah, absolutely. He's good in that. Yeah, he's good in that. I mean, that is an actor's sort of movie, isn't it? Really, it's effectively like Jaws. It's about three or four people on a boat in a very, very tight situation.
Yeah.
But it's good. I haven't seen that for a long time. Actually, I'm gonna have to watch that again. It's probably 25 years since I've seen it.
Really good movie. I saw it at the cinema. It was brilliant in the cinema, and I could tell. I went to watch it because Sam Neill was in it. I knew nothing about it. I think it was directed by I want to say Andrew Davis. It's directed definitely by the same director that did Patriot Games, which I found very disappointing. But I thought Sam Neill's in it. I'm going to go and watch it because I'd seen a couple of Sam Neill things, and I just thought I think this is going to be good. And it's got that really creepy music when it opens, kind of drumming. It's quite dark,
right?
And I just straight away when I was sitting in the cinema, I was like, this is going to be good. And within 5 minutes of watching the movie, I was totally invested. Very, very clever film.
It is pretty cool. Philip Noyce was the director of Dead Calm.
Philip Noyce, thank you. And Philip Noyce also directed, I'm 90% sure he also directed Patriot Games, if you're on his IMDb. My number 3 was In the Mouth of Madness. Maybe not the best film. I mean, it's a good horror film. I wouldn't say it's a great horror film, but he's brilliant in it.
I saw it in the cinema, that one.
I think I did too.
I think it was just that period of time where I was at the cinema every week, and that just happened to be the one. It's got the sort of Cronenberg vibes. It's got a bit of Stephen King stuff going on in there as well. It's got a little bit of Hellraiser as well in there. It's a real bit of a mishmash of a lot of different type of horror tropes and genres. But I really enjoyed it. Do you know, it's another one I haven't seen in a long time. I've got a funny feeling that the effects may not hold up. They're probably better in my imagination than they are if I go back and watch it again. But,
well,
I do remember it. I do remember it being a lot of fun.
You're doing well, Smilex. You're so far. You're 3 for 3. When you fall down at this hurdle, the Dish.
Oh, The Dish. Now, have I seen the? Oh, yeah, I have seen The Dish. Yeah.
Oh, well done, sir. Yeah,
the Satellite Dish. They're all Aussie movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Made by the same people that made The Castle. Really fun about the moon landing, I think it is, and they're something to do with the telemetry for the astronauts was taken over by Australia for 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, God, I haven't seen that in a long time either, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the town of Parks becomes internationally important for a very short window.
They put it on the map. Yeah, I've seen that one as well.
It's
definitely
a great film. We showed a couple of clips of that, and that movie inspired me to put the town of Parks in my Diamonds in the Sky sci-fi series, and that's where one of the alien ships lands. So,
oh, cool, that's great. Yeah.
So the dish is also in my book series. And then I think
I know I've seen the last one. I've definitely seen Wilder People. It's one of the
mate. You saw 5 out all 5.
Well, there you go. I mean, I never leave the house. Obviously,
you are a true Sam Neill fan.
I never leave the house. Wilder People is one of those films that I recommend quite often to people. I'll give you a little bit of background. I used to in the 90s, I had a video shop. So recommending films was quite a big deal to me, and obviously you had safe bets, and there were other films which were, Shawshank Redemption being the obvious safe bet for pretty much everybody. And then you had to know your customers to be able to recommend things to them. But The Dish, if it still had it, I think if I still had the video shop, I would have definitely had that would have been on that list as well. The safe recommendations.
Was that like a mum and pup video store?
Yeah. I took it over from somebody else, and possibly the timing could have been better because I think I had it for about 8 years, and then digital basically killed that industry.
Yeah, I mean, at one point I would have assumed there was that brief period where rentals became DVDs. Yeah. That lasted maybe 4 or 5
3 or 4 years. Yeah, pretty much 3 or 4 good years, and then
and then once talk started going around about people downloading films and Pirate Bay.
Absolutely. And copying perfectly one transferred disc to another. That was it. Then it was game over pretty much.
Yeah. Well, and then streaming platforms came out.
And that was a shame because I think we miss a lot from the video shop. I mean, it was not just a place to pick up your film. It was a place to get recommendations. It was also a community hub. In a lot of small villages, it was the place where a lot of people congregated. You had the pensioners coming in the mornings and the school kids coming in at 3, and then everybody else coming in after work, and there was a real mixture of everybody coming into those places. We've definitely missed that. When you look at the massive list of things on streaming, and you're just confronted with a wall of little tiles, you've got no idea where even to start. Which I think we can all relate to the fact that we've spent more time sometimes scrolling through than actually watching a film.
8 bits, you're gonna love it. Make sure you watch it with your phone off, no interruption. Turn the lights out as well, like you're watching it in the cinema, and don't watch it on your phone. Watch it on the biggest device you have.
Agreed. Deadcam. I think that is a solid one.
It's an
I'm going to go back and watch that again, actually, in tribute to Sam Neill this week.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do a bit of a tribute watch to Sam Neill this week. We were talking about this earlier, which I did see the first 2 episodes. And this came out in 2012. It was around that time that you had a deluge of shows, many of which only went to 1 season.
Yeah.
And I think when people write a show for American TV, they have a moral right to write the story in such a way that it can conclude in 1 season satisfactorily, and you can double shoot those scenes if needs be, so that if you don't get renewed, the people that invested their time watching the show aren't fucked off.
Yeah, I'm still upset about a TV show called Terriers that nobody else remembers.
Oh no, Donal Logue.
Yeah,
I do.
that's right. Yeah,
that's a very well regarded show, and I'm friends with Donal.
Oh, really? Fantastic!
Yeah.
No, that was a great show, and it ended with a fade to black and a nothing ending. I was like, oh, well, that was just such a shame. They had such chemistry.
They were really good. It was the elephant, wasn't it? The other guy, Timothy Oliphant.
Yes, that's right. It was indeed the elephant.
Yeah,
the Oliphant Man.
I do like him. I mean, him and Donal, they were great. You could have believed that they'd been friends for decades.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's lots of those shows. It's a shame. I mean, you think about Babylon 5. They kind of knew that they were going to get shafted after series 3 and maybe then series 4, and then they kept on getting the sword of Damocles held across over them for about 3 series in a row. But and he managed to sort of try his very best to sort of wrap it up at the end of every one of those series, even though there was a continuing story that hadn't been resolved. He did his very best to do that, and.
Big fan of Babylon 5 here, and I know that season 3 was supposed to be the last, so
they kind of wrap it up, but then they don't. They sort of leave some strands, and it's the same with 4 and 5, I think. But so you kind of get a best of both worlds, but it doesn't fully satisfy. But it's certainly better than just killing it off mid-series.
Season 3 is definitely peak Babylon 5.
Yeah, I'd kind of agree with that. 3 is good. 3 is when they find their stride. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it's all the War of the Shadows and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Love it. I actually I remember I had 2 VHS decks back then, and I decided to create a Babylon 5 like mega movie from the first 3 seasons, and I just edited all the Shadow storyline stuff together.
Oh, right. Okay.
One seamless film. I cut out everything that wasn't relevant to it. It was actually really pretty fucking cool.
I have a special. It has a special place for me because I remember having a rough breakup with a girl, and a good friend of mine at the time. He knew that this had happened, and he came around to my house with 2 big fat carrier bags and just said, "There you are, mate." And I opened up. It was every series of Babylon 5 on video on VHS. He just dropped them in the hallway.
That was your healing present from your
exactly. Yeah, there you go. Just binge that for 3 weeks. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I used to go to the cinema when I felt depressed, but that's no longer a viable option because there's not a lot to watch.
Yes, that's true. That is true.
Yeah,
it's been a pretty bad year this year. It's been a pretty bad few years actually for cinema, but I think this year is quite tough on blockbusters. There's not much out.
Yeah, and I mean, well, the big movies are all like they're not doing well. The superhero shit and all that. Everyone's fucked. No one wants to see more superhero movies right now.
Well, maybe not. I mean, I don't know. I think Spider-Man's got a chance.
There's
some goodwill for the last one, so maybe that's probably going to do okay. I don't know how the Odyssey's going to do. I'm assuming it's going to break even,
Well, I think the Odyssey is going to do well financially because the IMAX screens in London,
they're expensive. Yeah,
they're all sold out months in advance for the Odyssey.
Yeah. I get the impression that Mr. and Mrs. Joe Normal are probably going to go see the Odyssey.
Yeah. Whereas Mr. and Mrs. Joe Weird might.
Yes, I count myself with those people.
This I saw, and this was kind of an interesting show. It's a mini series, came out in 2024, again with Sam Neill, of course. The topic of today's conversation. Mm-hmm. Apples Never Fall. I think it's based on a book. The same lady who wrote Big Little Lies.
Okay.
Annette Bening in there, who's a class actress by anyone's sense of imagination. Sam Neill and her play husband and wife. It's good. It's not it's not amazing, but it's a you can tell it's a good adaptation of a book. So if you're a fan of Big Little Lies, you probably like this. The cast in this is very good. And again, another outstanding performance from Sam Neill, but one
he's classy. He's just a classy guy. You never hear a bad word said about him by anybody in 40, 50 years of being in the movies. I don't think I've ever heard a bad word about this about Sam Neill.
I was saying earlier before you came on, I have several friends who've worked with him, and they said he was lovely to everybody. He all spoke to the crews, you know, always talked to the little people.
Yep.
So to speak. And yeah, I mean, he was just very highly regarded. I mean, this is like I said, I think the reason his 2 marriages, unfortunately, were both ended in divorce was because he was always on set. He was always working.
Yeah.
You know.
What was your? You probably covered this already, but what was the first movie you noticed him?
I have covered it already. I wasn't completely sure of the order because of how far down in his career some of the first films of his were that I saw him in. But I had seen Attack Force Said, and he was in that. Right. But at the time I saw Attack Force Said, that was a video rental, if I remember rightly. Mm-hmm. And you know, it's action. And that came out on video when Mel Gibson became a big star with Mad Max 2. Right. Suddenly, Attack Force Said rushed out on VHS because, you know, Mel Gibson's in it. Now they can sell it. You know. Yeah. It was about an Australian mission in World War II that kind of went a bit tits up. But I also saw Omen 3: The Final Conflict, and actually it was directed by the father of a friend of mine, Rachel Raymond, and Rachel was in my first movie. Oh, cool. Excellent. So, and he also directed Alien Nation with Manny. Right. So I think the first thing I ever saw Sam Neill in was Omen 3. I think. Yeah, I think that's the same for me as well. That was definitely the one that I think for a lot of people in the UK put him on the map. I mean, it was a fairly big release, and you know, he is playing the devil. I mean, he's pretty good in it too. Yeah, he is. He's pretty kind of. He saves it from being a totally terrible film. It really does, because that is right on the edge of being pure camp, especially towards the back end of it. And he keeps it going. You are watching it really just for that performance. Yeah. But the first film that I saw him in where I was like, right, I'm going to follow this guy's career was neither of those two. It was something else. Let me just get his IMDb back up again. Because then that was the one that then made me want. The reason I went to see Dead Calm was purely because Sam Neill was in it. I knew nothing about the movie. I thought the poster looked interesting, and but when I saw Sam Neill was in it, I was like, oh no, yeah, good actor, right? Okay, well this is going to be good. Yeah, I think it would have been A Cry in the Dark. Right. Yeah. That was probably the movie where he kind of landed with me, because I kind of wanted to forget about watching Omen 3 because it was pretty dreadful. So, and America, the mini-series with Chris Christopherson. Oh, yeah. Okay. You'd remember that because that came out as 3 VHSs. It's a good series. I mean, it's very bleak, but I remember I did my own edit of this, and I edited all the scenes from Red Dawn into this show just to turn it into this massive Russian invasion movie, because they don't show the invasion. So I edited it so that all the Red Dawn stuff was the invasion, and you know, but he basically played the Russian leader in this. And I remember it. I don't think I've seen it actually. I do remember it. I've just had a quick look at it now on IMDb. These are the VHS covers that were in the UK. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Did you ever watch Possession? It's a very, very strange film, but I did. Somebody else mentioned that, but I don't think I have seen it. It's an interesting one. It's not a strong recommendation, but it's a bit more experimental with the special effects guy that did all the stuff for ET. It's like body horror, really. But it's got some very strange subtext. I'm not sure that's for me. I've never felt the urgent need to watch The Human Centipede. I saw the South Park version, and that was enough. Yeah, I think that's probably enough for most people. Cut off it. Okay, so
I do recommend Possession. As I recommend it only because of what you do for a living and what you've done in the past. I do recommend it. I think you would find some stuff in there that is very interesting to you.
Right.
Whether it works for you as a movie, it's not pure. It's not a gross out kind of movie. It's just this a little bit uncomfortable.
Did you see the last film I directed, The All in Good Time, that Mauler wrote?
No, I haven't yet. No, I was aware of it. So yeah, but I just
of the 86,000 people that have watched it, you're not one of them.
I'm so sorry. It's been a tough few months.
Free on YouTube.
I will definitely get to it.
I'm going to question you about it next time you come on. I want to talk about the 12 because this is one of Neill's last pieces of work, and I think also he did this show when he was dealing with his cancer diagnosis. I'm assuming the cancer probably came back. They haven't disclosed the cause of death yet, and I don't care to know it. But I
think we probably know that was the case. But
yeah. But this is a good show. It's a TV drama. It's about a court case. The 12 people concerned are the jury.
Yep.
It's got 2 seasons. And I think it's 2 seasons. Is it 3? I think it's 2. I've only seen 2 seasons. That much is true. And he plays like one of the lawyers in the show.
Okay.
And he's fucking good in it too. I found the first season, the storyline was like, there's 3 seasons. Okay, so there's 3 seasons. So is he in all 3? It's 26 episodes. Let's have a look. Season 1.
I think he is.
Looks like it. Season 3. Yeah, Brett Colby QC. Okay, so Sam Neill's in all 3 of them. It's a different case per season. I have not seen season 3.
Okay.
Season 1 was good, but it is one of those kind of, like the Harlan Corbin TV shows.
Yeah.
And Australia's in the house. Adrian Sherlock's arrived. Adrian, I'll come to you in just a minute. The thing I found with season 1 of the 12, and I'm going to have to mute you, Adrian. I found that it's one of those shows that they've done tons of Harlan Corbin adaptations recently.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What I find with the Harlan Corbin adaptations, they're usually between 6 to 8 episodes, is you can watch episode 1 and then you can skip to episode 7 and 8.
Yes.
And you can still follow the story.
There's a great deal of padding, isn't there, in some of these shows?
There is, yeah.
And they get a little samey.
I did find that a bit with the 12 season 1. There was a bit of padding. It is a good show. And I mean, this is a great one of Sam Neill's it's a great show to go out on, so to speak. One of his last pieces of work. So I definitely recommend it. Is that Gary Bolter? No, he just looks like Gary Bolter. That's the head of Outcast Australia, who's also an actor. So, Adrian, have you sorted out your sound issues?
I hope so. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you had us on another screen, so we were hearing.
Oh, yeah, I muted the other screen, yeah.
Very wise. Do that before you come on, though, next time.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so
I don't mind hearing myself back. I'm a massive egotist. It's fine.
Did you sound good?
I sounded wonderful as always.
It sounded better than you did 5 minutes earlier. So, Adrian, we're close to wrapping up now, but I'm a big fan of Sam Neill's. Terrible news to wake up to in the UK this morning that he died.
It was a shock, yeah.
I mean, I know I think he battled and beat cancer a few years ago, because I remember that being public news.
Yeah, just a couple of weeks ago, in fact, he said he had a test that said he was cancer-free. So I think it comes as a shock to everybody. Yeah.
Well, as I was saying, and I'm sure you also being a filmmaker and being Australian, which is one of Sam Neill's many 7 nationalities, you probably heard the same thing on the film Grapevine that I did. Really nice guy to work with, always very pleasant to everyone on set. No one's ever said a bad word about him,
Yeah, here in Australia, a lot of people, he sort of assumed he was Australian because a lot of his early
As
work.
did I until today. He was born in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, and then he was actually raised as a New Zealander.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was very much an international kind of guy, wasn't
he? Very much so. And I think also that explains his kind of neutral accent. He's got that sort of neutral RP accent where he could be from he could be from the UK, he could be a New Zealander, he could be an Australian.
And I think it probably also covers why he has such a dry wit as well. In interviews and stuff, you can sort of pick up on the sense of humour, which, as I said before, the Australian and New Zealand humour really translates to the UK, and particularly with a bit of an Irish outlook on things as well. That's all in there. So,
Adrian, do you remember when Sam Neill first landed on your radar in terms of like actors you like?
Yes, I do. It was playing the adult version of Damien in the Omen trilogy.
Oh yeah, that was the same
for us.
And that was directed by a friend of mine's dad, Graham Baker.
Yeah, and I actually, this is interesting. I actually came quite close to appearing in a movie that he was in. I actually was an extra in a movie he was in. I screen tested or auditioned for a significant role in a film that he did here that was filmed in Melbourne, and I think I missed out on the part, and then my agent sort of said, well, do you want to do some extras work? And I sort of said, well, all right, better than nothing. So I ended up being an extra in a late night scene that was filmed at the Toyota factory or some damn thing, freezing cold, pouring rain, way out in the boondocks of outer Melbourne many years ago. And yeah, he was sort of one of the main actors in it. So I can't even remember what it was called now, but yeah, it was one of the many things in his filmography. But yeah, I may have gotten a chance to actually meet him, but I missed out.
Oh, mate, what a shame.
But I did go to the movies and see him in both Jurassic Park and Event Horizon, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, they were both, pretty enjoyable films, really, overall.
Did you see Cry in the Dark?
No, that's the Azaria Chamberlain case.
Yeah, the Lindsey Chamberlain thing, because he played the husband.
That's right, he did too. Yeah. There'd been a telly movie a few years earlier made here with his character, the real husband, was played by a blonde guy who had been one of the hosts on our version of Play School. So he was like a children's, like a preschool TV presenter playing the husband in this this very dark story. So it was a TV movie, and then it was actually Verity Lambert, the lady who produced the original season of Doctor Who, and then went on to Minder and things like that. She produced the movie with him and what can I think of her name? As Lindsey Chamberlain, Meryl Streep, who of course won the Oscar. So yeah, amazing.
Yeah, she did. I remember that she was nominated. She did win it for that, didn't she?
Oh, she didn't win?
No, I remembered that she was nominated. I couldn't remember if she won.
I thought she won. Yeah,
I think she may have won. I think she may have won.
Yeah.
In Australia, because we'd seen that the story, the media here was absolutely rampantly obsessed with that story. So it had been on TV here.
The film covers that aspect really, really well, doesn't it?
Yeah. So of course, when the movie came out, we all saw the trailers. The entire country was walking around the next day, all going, "A dingo took my baby, my BB, yeah, my BB." It was trying to nail the Aussie accent. She came close. She came awfully close to nailing the Aussie accent, but not quite.
I didn't know that
stole my BB.
I didn't know that film in Australia was called Evil Angels.
That's right. That's why when you said the name at first, it took me a moment to register what you're referring to, because it was called Evil Angels out here. Yeah.
Yeah, they changed the title. That's not uncommon. It's normally because the box office hasn't performed. I remember when I went for my job interview at Canon to work in their sales and distribution office. Me and the guy who was interviewing me, we got talking about this film, and he said it didn't do as well as it could have done, and I'll tell you why. And he said, I recommended to the distributor, and you can see it's got the Canon logo on it, bottom left, that this is the sort of film that should be limited release first, let word and mouth build, so that all the people that go and see it tell other people about it and that it's good, and then about 3 weeks later you go for a bigger national release. And they didn't do that. They went for they put it out in too many screens too quickly, and because it's not the sort of film. This is the 80s, you know. Most people are going.
It wasn't an immediate blockbuster, I guess.
No, well, most people are going to see Arnie and Bruce Willis at this time, you know, and that sort of thing.
So myself included, you know.
True crime wasn't as popular as it is now.
I think there was a lot of attention on it in Australia. It was.
I mean, it was. I was working at the cinema when it was on, and it definitely had a good run at our cinema. A lot of people came to see it, but it only got a 6.9 million against its 15 million budget. So, you know, and I guess that's why they changed the logo. They thought, or changed the title. I think if it were called Evil Angels, it might have done better.
I'm not sure. It sounds like porn to me.
Well, it sounds like porn now because of all the titles that we had. It was in 1988, maybe not, but
we are looking through 21st century last year.
Yes, I suppose so. Yeah, I agree. I think 88, 89 were pretty strong years for film, though, and a lot of blockbusters and stuff that year as well. So it probably got lost in the shuffle a little bit. These smaller movies.
Just to clarify, Meryl Streep was nominated. She did not win.
No, she wins at Cannes, doesn't she? She wins at Cannes. She got
Best Actress at Cannes that year. Fred Shepsey got the Palme. Oh no, was nominated for the Palme d'Or. It got a lot of nominations at the Golden Globe. It didn't win anything. And then the Actor Awards, or AFI Awards, as they weren't known back then, it won a slew of awards. And even Sam Neill got Best Actor. And as I was saying earlier at the beginning of the stream, this is where Sam Neill. This was the film for me where Sam Neill did a performance that was really compelling. He's up against Streep, who you could easily be overshadowed.
Oh, yeah, to hold your own against someone in their league.
He does hold his own.
No mean feat, yeah.
And he's got a great character arc, and because the real couple got divorced, of course, because of everything that they went through. So, Lindy,
of course, you know, Lance, having pursued an acting career here in Australia, I think it should be called the Out of Work Actor Awards.
Well, indeed. You get awards for all those films that you should have got but you didn't.
I think when it comes
to that's why so many Aussie actors go to Hollywood, mate. It's because we can't get a job here.
He does start his career out in theatre, which does show. You know, you can tell the kind of actors that have done that. There is a presence about them, which translates to the films, and it really helps. I think, you know, it probably explains why he can go up against somebody like Meryl Streep, because he's spent a bit of time in front of an actual audience.
There's actually a lot of well-known Australian actors who spent a very long stint with almost no income from their acting, where they were just doing local theatre, often in the middle age bracket, you know, like between, say, 40 and 50, and suddenly they get one film role that catapults them into the limelight. I think Kate Blanchett was doing theatre up in Sydney for many, many years before someone recommended her. And Geoffrey Rush, you know, he played a rather pompous, you know, slightly camp, old school, sort of terribly well-spoken crook in a black and white crime series here. And then, you know, he was barely seen for years. He did loads of local theatre and stuff like that. And then one day someone put him in Shine, and he just took off. You know, his career just went through the roof.
What they clearly didn't realize is that they needed to get into Neighbours and Home and Away, and that would have got them. That was the fast track.
Yeah. But one of my sort of short film projects made on no budget was directed by a guy who was a film school grad, and his aunt was in one of those soap operas, and he said, "Oh, you know, it's not like in America where you become a millionaire," but he said she bought, you know, several houses and things just from doing, you know, 10 years on a soap opera. So yeah, if you can get it, it's probably the job for.
Did she have houses with all of the walls wobbled a bit?
Well, no, I mean, in Australia is very much focused on real estate investing as a sort of like that's how you rise up financially. You know, you can buy yourself a couple of investment properties. You know.
I just remember quite a few sets on Neighbours used to be a little bit flimsy.
Oh yeah, I screen tested for Neighbours badly. I was too nervous and probably screwed it up. But I did do some extras work on Neighbours, and I can tell you right now, the biggest shock of my life, it was like, you know, like the TARDIS that you see to walk into the police box and it cuts to this giant console room. Can you imagine the shock of going inside the police box and it's just a bloody police box after watching it on TV? So it was like this. There's this watering hole in the such and such pub or whatever the hell it's called in Neighbours, where you walk over a bridge kind of thing.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
palm trees and things, and you can sort of see this checkered sort of floor. And they go through the door, and there's a studio set with this checkered floor. And I was on that studio set, but we also did some outside stuff. So I walked over this little bridge through the door, and it's a bloody broom closet. It's seriously, it's like a little storage shed or something. I walked through expecting to go into this big palatial joint, and I almost went smack into a concrete wall. I'm like, is this it? All they've done is painted up whatever's visible to the camera outside. They've painted up and put tiles and made it pretty. The rest of it was just grey concrete wall. The whole room was about 2 feet wide. You know, I nearly died. It was a broom closet. Yeah.
Let me move on, gentlemen, because we haven't got much time left, and I've got another stream in 4 hours. So,
all right.
Yes, the Track to Ibiza podcast every Monday at 8 o'clock in the lead up to my first trip to Ibiza in September. I want to talk. We were talking about this, Adrian, when you came on and rudely interrupted us. So
I'm so sorry, guys.
the 12, which is the Australian jury sort of drama show. There's 3 seasons of it. I've seen the first 2. I thought the second season was better than the first one. I haven't seen season 3. Have you watched this?
No, I haven't. I didn't know. Wasn't aware of it actually. No.
You're Australian. How can you not be aware of it? You're an Australian.
Oh, it's on streaming services, right? So I'm sort of at the mercy.
I have no idea. I thought it was just on Australian television generally.
All day, every day.
My wife calls free to air charity TV, so we just get whatever we subscribe to, you know.
Right. Okay. So you haven't seen it. Gosh sake.
I haven't seen it either, but I haven't seen it either, but I do intend to give it a go. It
does sound like 12 Angry Men, the series, doesn't it?
It's not as good as that. I mean, if it had been written like that, what I was saying before you came on was, it does feel a bit like a Harlan Coben show, where it's 8 episodes with a fairly good story, but with 4 episodes of padding.
I hate Harlan Coben. I think everything of his I've watched has made me want to throw things at the television screen.
All the TV adaptations of his. You've got good actors saying terrible dialogue.
It might not be his fault. It might be the people doing the adaptation.
Well, I think a lot of his stories are quite samey. There's always a big red herring. You know,
I mean, he's got the same problem as a lot of those big writers, in that he's basically a brand at this point.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't be surprised if some of the things that have been coming out under his name aren't actually written by him anymore. But yeah,
so
there's
a
a lot
team
of ghostwriting. Yeah.
Okay.
That track, that makes sense.
Well, that's one of his last jobs, because the season 3 was shot in 2025. So I'm going to watch season 3. I don't know when, but I will watch it. And then I think he only did one other thing. So X-Infinity, Jurassic Park works. I don't want to watch that. I did see Untamed, which is another one of his last jobs. This I thought was pretty good. I did like this. This is
Oh, I watched this. Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty good.
It was. It actually, surprisingly, towards the end, it really got quite almost old school suspense filmmaking. You know.
Yeah, and it was
which
quite dark.
surprised me in this day and age.
Yeah, and I'm always a fan of Eric Banana.
Yeah.
I do like the Banana. So
did you ever see his early sketch comedy before he became a famous actor?
Well, I know he was. I remember him very clearly in The Castle. Yeah.
Well, before that, he did a lot of sketch comedy on sketch shows here, and he'd do things like where he was hosting, a game show or something, and someone would come out, a guest dressed like a regular person instead of all dressed up by the costume people, and he'd say, "Mate, what do you think you're doing? This is my game show. You can't come on here wearing just a crummy looking shirt like that." He was very funny.
When he first started doing interviews for I think Chopper, when he came over here to plug it in the UK, he was definitely still very much in the comedy vibe, because his interviews were hilarious over here. He was really sharp.
Chopper's a crack up.
It is. Yeah, great movie.
I mean, it's very dark and based on a real guy, of course, but who was a funny, dark, twisted character himself. But the movie, oh my god. Yeah. I remember my friends just couldn't stop laughing at that and quoting all the lines in it, Yeah. Now look what you've done, mate. Your mum's upset, Gets the guy's been shot or something, gets in the car. Hospital, please, driver. Very Australian. He captured that Australian twang of sort of smart-ass humour that's very Aussie. He captured it really well,
I mean, this is a good show. If you haven't seen it, I think it's probably still on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it's good. Sam Neill's great in it. Quite a different role for him. He's very cynical, his character in this. But yeah, and it's it's a good one to go out on if you want to see one of his more recent pieces of work. So we're gonna, gentlemen, we're gonna wrap it up there. Thanks to everyone in the chat. It's been quite active. Thanks to Proctofile, who came on earlier. And thank you to Smilex and Adrian. Before we go, my panel, my improv panel, Adrian, just sort of last words on Sam Neill and his career, and maybe what he's meant to you as an avid cinemaphile.
Well, yeah, I mean, he had that. I mean, this sounds like I'm damning him with faint praise, but he had that slight blank slate everyman sort of quality where he could slot into a lot of roles and a lot of projects as the sort of dependable regular guy, and sometimes that made him, I guess, seem, again, it sounds like I'm sort of running him down. I don't want to say bland's not the right word, but sometimes he could sort of unobtrusively be there and just be dependable,
He was a chameleon. A chameleon of an actor is where you're going, I think.
Yeah. When he needed to stand out, though, he could deliver the goods, So he clearly had what it took, He was good, and he just seems like an all-round decent, almost old-fashioned idea of an actor, good-looking, handsome sort of guy, charismatic without being over the top, manly without being a macho man, could command the screen with real energy, but also could be very subtle and restrained and low key when he wanted to be too. Chameleon's probably a good term. He had that. He's a sort of actor that there isn't enough of. You wish there was more people like him instead of some of the more wacky people that we've got sometimes. or whichever way you want to put it, I guess. But yeah, he was kind of almost old fashioned, almost like Like he could have been a Hollywood leading man kind of guy, you know. He was, but he wasn't from Hollywood. He wasn't American. He was.
Well, I mean, you could argue he was the leading man in Dead Calm, which was an American finance movie, I think.
Yes.
Because I think it was financed by Warner Brothers. I think Dead Calm.
Yeah, director of Mad Max, wasn't it?
No, but he wasn't in Mad Max.
No, the Dead Calm, wasn't that directed by
Philip Noyce?
Oh, was Philip Noyce, was it?
With Billy Zane and Nicole Kidman in her pre-plastic years. I'm pretty sure that was finance. I mean, you're right. He was not a traditional leading man, but I guess he had a pretty similar career to Bill Pullman, you know?
Yes, that's a good comparison, yes.
Yeah. Where, you know, you can put him in almost any role and he's going to be good. But he wouldn't be first on your casting list to do the speech in Independence Day to rouse the entire nation. But he is. He's amazing. I think Sam Neill could do any part thrown at him.
Was he ever considered for James Bond?
He was. He did a test screening. I don't know if there's it might be on the extras of one of the Bond things somewhere.
It's out there somewhere. I think I've seen that before. So you can see footage of him.
I don't want to say for sure, but I feel like I might have seen it. Yeah. Adrian, great, thanks. Smilex, your final thoughts on Sam Neill?
I think Adrian covered it pretty well, but I'll say that I think he just elevates the material he's given in pretty much everything he gets. We talked about The Omen. We all saw The Omen, and as I said, it kind of veers towards campiness towards the end, and it could be a trashy film were it not for the fact that he delivers this brilliant performance in it, and you are mesmerized by him all the way to the end. When you talk about films like Possession, which is a real risky film, it's just dodgy and strange and surreal. He's taking risks. He's at a point in his career when he should have perhaps been sort of pursuing these sort of leading man roles, like you say. He's kind of going off in this sort of art house direction, and you see that happening a lot throughout his career. He gets Jurassic Park in '93, but he's making small films, little independent movies and horror and stuff like that. Just a couple of years later, always just on the edge of being a giant of an actor, but always appreciated, and as I say, elevating every script he gets given. He is a class act. It was just a class act, and as I say, I don't think anybody's ever had a bad word to say about the guy. The last things I remember seeing of him was him sort of doodling around on his farm. He had furry pigs which he fed apples and talked to all day, and he had videos of him and his pigs, and he just seems like he's having a lovely time. Just a general lovely man.
He seemed humble.
We missed. Yeah, he did. He did seem humble. He seemed like a guy that if you caught him on set, between takes, he would definitely have a chat with you. He wouldn't be pushing away or rushing off his trailer. Very much a solid lead and a solid character actor. I think he will definitely be missed.
A man of rare humility.
Very well put. Very well put. I mean, I just ran off by saying, if I saw Sam Neill's name on the poster, there was a very high probability that the film was going to be good, and it was not something he'd done to pay for his jacuzzi in Malibu. And he just constantly worked. So I think because he was never short of offers to work, he was able to pick and choose some really good projects. And as we've seen from going through his IMDb today, he's one of the most versatile actors of his generation. Yeah. And also, he was lucky enough to do film, theatre and television, and constantly switch back and forth between film and TV in the 80s and the 90s, where not a lot of actors could do that and successfully navigate a successful career at the same time. You tended to either do television, TV series, and maybe TV movies, and then you had your actors who did film. He did both and juggled that quite well, and an all-round nice guy from every account that I've heard of people who knew him. So Sam Neill, you will be missed, and you certainly earned my time today with ease to talk about your career and all that you've given us. So you will be missed. We are going to be back at 8 o'clock tonight with the Ibiza podcast. For those people that don't know, my main hobby outside of trying to make films and writing scripts for people is dancing. And I went back to dancing 3 years ago. I now also dance officially for 2 club brands. And I'm going to be going to Ibiza for the first time in September, where my mission is to dance on the podium at Amnesia, one of Ibiza's legendary clubs. So we're going to see if we can make that happen. So our Monday night podcast is all about what to do in Ibiza, save money, where are the best places to go, all that kind of thing. I've got a panel of people that have actually
doing Ibiza. That's a great title.
It's called The Track to Ibiza is the name of the podcast. And and that's because we're also making a music track to take out there. So we're going to be blaring that out the car window everywhere we go. So we've got 2. I think we've got 1 guest coming on tonight, Michael Cutler, who's been there many times. He's DJ'd out there. We may also have a friend of mine, Charlotte, might also be coming on as well. I'm not 100% sure at the moment, but
Lance, one question.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or was Sam Neill probably one of the only actors you can think of who could be sort of like the absolute star of a movie and then could sort of pull back to being like a supporting player and then go back to being the star again?
No, he absolutely could do that. I think the reason for that, from my understanding, from people I've talked to who had worked with him, was there was very little ego about him. And if he could contribute to a project where he thought the script was good and the part was right for him, he would if he had the time.
Another actor that immediately springs to mind on that with that description, I would say, who also recently passed away, was Robert Duvall, who could sort of do the same sort of thing. He could take those big leads and then occasionally just sort of drift into a sort of a piece with a lot of different people. Yeah. But there aren't many of them that can do that. Like you say, it does require a lack of ego.
A rare breed indeed. But look, we're going to end it there because I've got to shoot off. I need to do stuff before tonight's stream. So thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming on. Really appreciate you being here.
Pleasure.
In the chat. And do come back and join us at 8 o'clock.